I'm just gonna close the door. You stay right there before we move. Hey, calm down. Hey, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Back up. Back up. Back up.
Gino. All right, so this is not going to Rumble. Rumble did not work. Stop streaming. This connection was stop streaming to that. Yeah, I'll stop. It's terminated now. Oh, I can terminate Duck Taco now, though. I need to add Rumble back. How can I add Rumble back in the middle of my stream? I can't. Now, if I don't have a picture of, let's say, here, if I remove this, but that's just me. And since it's my dog, of course I'll give him an A. Alrighty then, Gino's report card. There it is. I'm gonna do strange history stories. Two people are here. Hello to two people. Whoops. I'm gonna save that one. I need that one a lot. Pedo alert. I use that a lot. Yeah, his report card is excellent. His report card is excellent. He did good. He has a new friend named Rory. Now, what I could not find out is Rory a boy or a girl? I don't know, but they do have rules about spaying and neutering. They have to be spayed within 6 months or neutered within a year. His report card here, as you can see, is pretty good for a doggy report card, I would say. If I was a dog and I got this, if I was a human and got this report card, I'd be pretty happy. He was a perfect gentleman, and his energy level was in the middle between he needed a nap and he was off the charts, which is what you want. Attitude, friendly, playful, happy, and of course at the beginning he was a little nervous. They sent us a photo of him when he first got there, and you could tell he kind of didn't know where he was. He felt like maybe he was left alone. He played with Elsa, Snickers, Liberty, Cookie, Duke, Skittles, Checkers. Now the Skittles and Snickers. I love the name Liberty. I love that name. Fiji, Mac, and Rocky. I like Duke. I like Liberty, Snickers. No, not Snickers. not Elsa. I like the name Liberty. My favorite thing. I was so excited to meet new pup pals, especially my favorite, Rory. Now, they put a heart there, so I'm assuming Rory would be a female. But then again, the woman at the desk had a, septum ring, and, so she might think my dog's gay. So, you never know. Comments. I was really well, they're saying in third person, almost like the dog's talking. I was really nervous to start, but after some time, I warmed up and had so much fun today. Well, they did a good job with Gino. I appreciate them. This is on the way home. Gino wanted to just give me kisses nonstop. Yes, I know I'm a Devils fan. I have a Sharks hat on, but it's a pretty good hat. Now, Gino yawned many, many times in the car, but I did learn recently that yawning does not mean dogs are tired when dogs yawn. Yeah, I got a lot more pictures from the car ride. I had to hold him in the passenger seat. No one in my family, even my brother, can handle holding a dog in the car. He doesn't even move. He sits on my lap, looks out the window, looking at like this picture right here. He's just sitting on my lap, looking at me, giving me kisses, happy to see me. Great dog. And of course, if you're thirsty, there's Gino on the rocks. So let's go to our commercial for border control. We want to close it.
Este negocio de las score tiene dueño, CJNG, y se tiene que reportar cada semana. Se va a controlar con un brazalete
sex
que se
trafficking.
les entregará con nuestra
If you're a
parte.
Democrat and you vote for Democrats,
A
you
toda
vote for
aquella
this.
que no haga caso,
Enjoy.
se va a cargar la verga. Las tenemos ubicadas.
Stacy now understands that she should never vote for Democrats again. It took a while to get it in her head, but she understands now, right, Stacy? Sí.
Las tenemos ubicadas a la verga. Miriam, Aurora, Saúl, Angie Alonso, Alex El Coto, Nia, Norma, Nancy Muñiz, Angel, Maru, Lai, a todas las putas agencias.
She's begging to not get shot in the head. She's begging.
Internet, Twitter, y las putas de cantinas, bares, etcétera. Si no se acomodan, se las va a cargar la verga. Primer aviso. Cártel Jalisco, nueva generación. Hables.
Now let's hear Joe Biden's thoughts on
that.
that.
Then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which...
Well, that made sense. How about this?
I want to say one thing to your children.
Oh.
I know some really great ice cream places around here.
You sick fuck.
And Daddy owes you. Okay? So
that is disgusting. Let's watch that one more time.
I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here. And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
So what I'm getting from that is he's not talking about your daddy owes you ice cream. He's saying I'm your daddy because he said many times that America's children do not belong to the parents. They belong to us. That's what he said. So when he's talking to children and he says, daddy owes you, that's a trick saying, I owe you a little molestation, a little molestation. Let's listen again.
I want to say one thing to
you
your children. I know some really
so
great
he uses ice cream lore like every pedo.
And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
Okay, so we have the pedo alert has come up on screen. That comes up on screen automatically when it senses. When it senses pedo, any pedo actions or people, like
but
if
then,
I play this,
when I signed
it just comes up on its own. And that's a short. See, it just goes away. If you want to follow me on Truth Social at Anon Source, you can do that. Yes, even his tone is pedo. Okay, so there's two people in here. Stacy's talking. No one else is talking. I do remember Matt and Dollface saying, "We will come back when you get back." This is why I didn't want to leave, because that's what happens. I no offense to them, they didn't say anything wrong, but I did not fully believe that was going to be the case, which is why I did not want to leave the stream, because what my not what my goal is, but one of the things that I like to do is spread a message of truth and reality to people. So when I have just 5-6 people in here, like I just did earlier, and they're listening to what I'm doing, that's getting any message that I'm trying to get out. It's getting out to a couple of people. You know what I mean? And I was enjoying doing that. Obviously, it's not the first time, but it's very rare when I stream that, especially during the day. See, the problem is if I stream during the day, most people are busy. I'm not as busy. I can do what I got to do at home, and I could do a stream during the day, right? But then at night, a lot of the people that watch videos that I'm in are also part of. They're still stuck in the world of watching videos of some other. There's a crazy bug on the outside of my window up there. What is that? They watch other, not other, but they watch people who, some podcasts, and that Chris and I have left those podcasts behind for the most part. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull up my own music video. I'm gonna pull up my own channel, and I'm gonna play one of me and Chris. Chris and I are doing a project. My side of it at the moment is to put it together a bunch of different electronic beats, sounds, different stuff like that. So what I did was, there's 3 tracks so far. They're not finished. It's just sounds. They end abruptly. But the last one didn't end abruptly. And I decided to do a little something funny with it. So you know what I'm going to do? Title doesn't apply to content. Clickbait. Let's see. Someone wrote that on mine. Vivek Ramaswamy obliterates Bill Maher, crushing his narrative. The title doesn't apply to content. Clickbait. And no, that's not what clickbait is. He definitely... See, some people don't realize that if you post like a 20-second clip of something, you're not posting the whole thing. So when I put up Vivek Ramaswamy obliterates Bill Maher, and then ... crushing his narrative, and I play the one part where Vivek gives gives it back to him, that doesn't mean, just because I didn't play Bill Maher's part, that doesn't mean it's clickbait. Sorry, I'm being quiet. I'm just replying to someone with their stupid fucking telling me that one of my videos is clickbait. I don't do clickbait. I have no reason to. If I was doing clickbait, maybe I had a monetized channel. That's where you could, if something you put up would be considered clickbait, if your channel's monetized or something like that. I'm just putting up little clips. You could do your own research regarding what they're about afterwards. Okay, so still there's a... who is the second person that's watching this video? Is it anyone that I am expecting back here? That's what I'm wondering, because I'm not gonna ruin a bunch of stuff that I have to play if no one's watching. If they are gonna watch at another time, I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't want to play something because then I can't play it again. So what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna play this video right here. Yeah. All right. Let me. I rushed it on here. I didn't prepare anything. I rushed on because I thought people would be popping back in. All right, so I'm gonna stop the music here, and we're gonna go over the my own video of one of the songs for the project C&J, a C&J production. This song is called Marco V193. For now, this is a violin trap. Now remember, we're gonna add other instruments. Chris is gonna add guitar. I might add my own guitar. Bass is already like we're doing the bass and the drum stuff with the electronics, but I do have bongos here, which I might use. I know I can use my microphone to record some good audio through hand drums. That the microphone works very well for that. So anyway, let me just make sure that we could see the whole screen here, and let's check this out. Let's look at Biden sleeping. This is him coming to Hawaii. This is coming to Hawaii. He's sleeping. This is disgusting. I added the audio here. This is Casey Armstrong saying, "Thank you, Duck Taco, Duck Taco." You know what happened with KC? I'm a member of Casey's channel, from that channel, Duck Taco, right there on screen. But YouTube, I had two channels, Duck Taco and Duck Hot Dog. I cannot get onto Duck Hot Dog. Has not been banned. Duck Taco has been suspended and taken away. But the first thing they did was debit me anything they could out of that channel. YouTube took my money and then banned my channel. So they took my monthly payment for premium from that channel, and they took my membership payments out of my account, and then they took my account away. So if they were going to delete my account, why take all my money for the next month and then delete my account? And of course, I've called them out on Twitter and everywhere, and they don't respond because big tech are bitches. Look how creepy this is. The creepiest thing I've ever seen. Look at that face. Look at that face. All right, Matt, and whoa, I didn't know you guys were here. Hold on. Okay, get ready for this. Watch his face and listen. This is the Marco V193 track. Now watch his creepy face. Look how creepy he is. That is disgustingly creepy. Now I added audio from the border.
Hey, calm down. Back up.
I like that bass, right? Boop, 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 boop. Gonna get better. Alright, I'm I'm gonna fast forward this because you guys don't care much about the music. We want to get to the end here. Here it comes. You ready for this? Here it comes. Wait for it. It's coming. Free and back.
Bucko B 193.
And that's the end of that track. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. That is one of the backtracking. It's one of the. I don't know how to explain what it is yet. That's one of the songs that me and Chris are working on. That's the beat, the music in the background, and then we're gonna add more instruments to it. But I like the Marco V193 stuff. I think that's funny. So I'm going to keep that. If Chris agrees, we're going to keep the Marco V193. I changed his voice to do like a robot voice saying it, you know. Benji Jr. Wait. Depending on which Benji, are you talking about Benji from Howard Stern? What Benji are you talking about? Benji the dog? Okay, so the way John's lips fall around his face is creepy. Yeah, it's like a dog, really. So here's another thing that this is 50 seconds long. This pharmacist here that lives, that's homeless. She's a pharmacist, though. She tells you that her medication is prescribed and you're supposed to sniff it. That's what she tells people. So that's what it says on the bottle, I assume. Please crush this pill and sniff it up your right nostril, because if you go up your left nostril, then it's going to have to go around the side up the right nostril anyway. So use your right nostril, right? That's what it would say. But it doesn't, because it's not supposed to be taken that way. Let's listen to this.
No,
idiot.
you don't.
Okay, but I work in the schools.
So, no, way past that.
Oh, you're way past that? Okay.
Yes.
Rhonda, we have an issue, okay? I want to be honest with you. We have a lot of concerns tonight for your safety. I'm really worried about you. I've never met you before, but I'm worried about you because you've gone up and down in your personality tonight, and I think it's because of the snorting.
No, that is
Those
not.
drugs are not prescribed
No.
to be snorted, my dear.
Yes, it is.
Does it say snorting?
Go back.
Those drugs are not prescribed to be snorted, my dear.
Yes, it is.
Does it say snorting?
No, yes, it is. That's what I've been so.
Okay,
She's
here's
trying
the
to read
problem.
that it
Here's the
says
problem, my
just
dear.
to snort
When
it
you
on her
take those
on the
meds
bottle.
the wrong way. Does it say snorting?
No, yes, it is. That's what I've been so.
Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem, my dear. When you take those meds the wrong way, they treat your body differently.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They enter your bloodstream a
No,
lot
it's
differently.
it's my mind.
What's wrong with your mind?
My God, the process.
Well, it affects that too.
I'm telling you, I know it do.
Okay.
I'm about that.
Let's hear that again.
Process.
Well, it affects that too.
I'm telling you, I know it do.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I know it do. I'm actually clipping that audio and I'm gonna use that for something else. Yeah, you know what, Matt? Hey, listen. We've all smelled our medication just to make sure it was right at some point or another. Okay, we just gotta know. We gotta know if it's the right medication. You just do a sniff test. I understand, but when a police officer comes and you tell them that, and the officer goes, "Your medication is not for you're not supposed to snort your medication," and she says, "Yes, yeah, you are." Like she's literally picking up the bottle, like looking to read on the bottle where it says, please sniff this. It's like Alice in Wonderland, like eat me, drink me, and then she got a little thing that said, a little bottle that said sniff me. But here, what I'm gonna do here is, let me read the comments. I agree with their. Hey, yeah, it's in my mind. Yeah, because she's sniffing that shit. That bitch, yeah, you know what? That cop does not know anything about sniffing scripts. The thing is, I want to know what medication she was sniffing, because if she's sniffing some antidepressants or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that might really, like, like if you sniff like first of all, people sniff, and I'm gonna say this straight up, and if you do it, I'm sorry if I'm offending you. I don't care if I'm offending anyone really, but the reality is people sniff Xanax, right? And that's a waste. Like let's say you have a Xanax bar and it's 2 milligrams, of course. A Xanax bar is 2 milligrams, right? If you sniff it up your nose with a straw, you're losing a milligram. You're gonna lose some of it by falling out of the straw and out of your nose, and the rest of it is not going to go into, it's not like cocaine. It doesn't go into your nose, right? It goes, the only way what you're getting when you sniff Xanax is whatever goes up your nose and then down your throat into your stomach. That's the only Xanax that you get when you sniff it, because it doesn't go through the membranes in your nostrils. You're not supposed to sniff Xanax. It doesn't work. So every time you sniff Xanax and you're like, oh, look, I got a 2 milligram Xanax. Let me sniff it. No, you got about a point, maybe 3/4 or 1 milligram if you sniff it. Swallow the fucking Xanax, okay? That's how you take a Xanax. Or put it under your tongue, let it dissolve, a little bit, and then take a sip of a drink and drink it like that. I'm an expert on taking benzos. Believe me, never, ever sniff it. It's wasting it. It's a waste. Anyway, this woman, what I was getting at was this woman might have antidepressants or something like that, and she might be sniffing them. Now, when you're sniffing shit like that, yeah, it definitely, a lot of it, but definitely if you're sniffing antidepressants, I sniffed Seroquel once, that shit will burn for days. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Yes, you could parachute it. We call that parachuting. You crush it up, maybe put it in if you get a tissue, you take one layer of the tissue off, and then you cut a little square. I don't know why I'm teaching people how to do drugs, but who cares? You take a little square like that big of a tissue. There's two, well, yeah, the extended release is definitely not for sniffing. You take a tissue, you take one layer off, and then you cut a little square out. You crush whatever pill you want to swallow into powder. Put it in there, then you twist it into like a little, like one of those things you used to throw on the snapping things you used to throw on the ground, and they make the pop. The little thing that looks like that, a little white with the powder in it, and then you put it on your tongue and take a quick swallow. That's parachuting. Yeah, I did Flexeril once too when I was in a place called, you might know it, St. Charles Hospital. I actually, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if this is bad for you two, but when I was in the St. Charles Hospital in 2008, and Seroquel, I tried to shoot Seroquel into my veins. Do not try that at home or anywhere for that matter. You call it a bomb, but I did sniff Flexeril. Yeah, bomb, it's parachute. Same thing. It's I believe in St. James, yeah. And that's where my old doctor was, in St. James. Stacy's actually been with me to that doctor out in St. James. We went out there I went to see the doctor in her living room. That's how I would see my doctor. Obviously she was on the up and up. Dude, you have you do have an idea. You do have an idea. Let me show you something cool, actually. This is what I do with my medications. This, for instance, is this is my what's it called? What's this? What do I take? What do I take? What do I take? Why can't I remember what I take? Klonopin. Why couldn't I remember the name Klonopin? Clonazepam. These are 1 milligram, right? This is my bottle. Check this out. It's got a key. You take the key. Fuck this. Fuck this. I don't know why this is even here. Okay, so I have this bottle. You take the key, obviously. Pops the bottle out. And there's your medications. So once I pop it in and lock it, once I do a pop and lock, can't get in it. I've lost the key before. No way to open this unless you smash it into pieces, which then you'll be smashing your pills too. So, oh no, did it do anything when I no, it did not. It turned to sludge. I tried to push. It hurt. It made a big problem for me on my arm, of course. It was right where this right where this tattoo is right here on my arm. Right there. big bubble of Seroquel. And of course, I didn't want to admit that I did that because it's stupid. Like, not because I shouldn't be doing it, but also because it's so stupid to even think of doing something like that. I was embarrassed, so I didn't want to tell anyone. So I just prayed that it went away, and thank God it did. What's the point of locking the pill bottle? What do you mean? What's the point of locking the pill bottle? So no one else can take the pills out of the bottle. I have a brother who might come around when I'm not here and look for something of this sort and take it. But I understand if someone's going to take it, they could take the whole thing, but they don't know what it is. No one knows that I have this except for you guys, right? So if you pick this up, you don't even know if this is I mean, it doesn't say medication, but it could be something else. I don't know. It's just worth having in a locked thing for me, and feel a little safer. Yeah. Dollface. The stupidity of doing that is beyond imaginable in my own head. Just thinking as I'm telling you guys that I did that. No, I'm not locking it from myself. I'm just locking it. Yeah, like I explained. Yeah, okay, I understand what you were asking. Sorry, Matt. But yeah, that it wasn't an abscess. Like, I was scared. I'm like, oh, it's gonna turn into an abscess, an infection, and yeah, no, I don't need to keep it for myself. And I mean, I'm for the most part good at taking my own medications now. So but there was a point where I wasn't. But yeah. So let me put this little background music back on. Back in, like, wouldn't you be like if you were in the hospital and you took I think it was 100 milligrams Seroquel, which is a pretty big pill to crush and put water in, right? When you did that, it turned into sludge, and then what I did was I would like squeeze that sludge and try and get the liquid out of it, and then I tried to pull that liquid into the syringe, which was a half cc syringe, so that's those little small skinny ones, and it would obviously get stuck going through the pin. I don't know what gauge the thing was, but whatever gauge you use on a diabetic insulin syringe is going to be small when you're pushing sludge, right? So I tried to push the sludge. It didn't. It just made a bump, and I prayed that it would go away. And it took. I don't know how long it took because this was a long time ago, but it was a long time. So hey, what do you guys think? Do you want me to read a couple of strange history stories? I mean, there's so many good stories. I could go for days. Let me find one that's let me find one that I remember. Almost assassinated. No, I did that one. All right, so this is good. This one's called the Manhattan Hoax. In 1824, a retired carpenter named Lozier, Peter Lozier, I don't know if anyone knows that reference, named Lozier, stood on a soapbox in New York City. Now, back in the 1800s, standing on a soapbox was a big deal. 800 milligrams of Thorazine for a month, then it stopped working. You are uncurable. I am uncurable. We should be in a group called the Uncurables, and we should start having our own 12-step meetings where people have to take 12 steps to get to their chair and then sit down and get to the meeting and not use the 12 steps. But yeah, we should have a band called the Uncurables. That's never been used, I don't think. I've never heard that before. And I was in the punk scene for a long time. That you would think a name like that would come up, right? Anyway, let me get back to this shitty story. No, it's a good story. So he was this guy Lozier standing on a soapbox in New York City, and he announced that because of all the new buildings in New York City, the southern tip of Manhattan was too heavy and it was in danger of sinking. So his fix was to saw saw the island off at the northern end. He wanted to saw Manhattan off, tow it out to sea, turn it around 180 degrees, and then reattach it. So this is, well, yeah, Peter Luger's are around, but this is Peter Lozier. Or no, is it Robert Lozier? Yeah, Robert Lozier. Anyway, claiming that Mayor Stephen Allen had put him in charge of the project, which he did not, Lozier signed up hundreds of laborers, offering triple wages to anyone willing to saw underwater. So these guys were getting paid 5-6 cents an hour, offering triple wages, blah, blah, blah. He directed blacksmiths and carpenters to begin designing the 100-foot saws and 200-foot oars needed to saw the islands and row it out to sea. He also arranged for the construction of barracks and a mess hall for his laborers and the delivery of 500 cattle, 500 hogs, and 3,000 chickens. After 2 months of planning, the date arrived for construction to begin, sawing off the northern end of Manhattan, towing it out to sea, doing a 180, and then putting it back so it's not as heavy. That's the idea here. And this has really happened. After 2 months of planning, the date arrived for construction. Scores of laborers, carpenters, blacksmiths, butchers, and animals, as well as a marching band and hundreds of onlookers, arrived at Spring Street and Bowery to see the historic project get underway. None of these people were questioning this. About the only person who didn't show up was Lozier himself, who'd suddenly left town on account of his health. Oh, that's a good one. It's like a politician. He was actually hiding in Brooklyn, and although there was talk of having him arrested, he wasn't. Why? The authorities didn't want to admit that they've been duped. So we could do a real mental illness show. So this guy duped New York City into allowing this whole project that the guy knew was bullshit. He made it up, and he got so far as they had a day where New York City was providing laborers, carpenters, all this stuff. They all showed up to start sawing the end of Manhattan off, literally. And the guy fucking vanished because he's like, well, I can't really do this. And the police didn't charge him because they were like, well, we believed him. We were setting up security. We were helping him. And we don't want to admit that we're stupid. Robert Moses, I didn't even read what you said, but Robert Moses was not a good person. We know. I think there's a lot of problems with Robert Moses. I heard about recently. Yeah. So this guy Lozier, I don't know why they're not giving the full name here. Duped Manhattan, the mayor, the police, all of them into thinking he could cut off half part of Manhattan, turn it around, and reattach it. He duped them, and when they found out that they got duped, they were too chicken to say we got tricked, that they didn't charge him. Which is funny because the same things happen today, where people make up stories, let them go happen. They let them go all the way to the end, just like a Trump indictment. They let it go all the way to the end, and then they could say, well, they can claim, they still talk about Russia, like Russia interfered in the 2016 election as if it actually happened because of situations like this where they were duped, and they've been so duped that their mind will not allow them to turn it around and say, listen, we've been duped, we've been lied to, we need to turn around and say, oh shit, wow, that was a lie. I gotta say, wow, I fell for it. They can't. That's narcissistic traits, right? That's a narcissistic trait where you can't admit when you've been duped, or if someone tricked you, you could never admit, I've never been tricked in my life. That's why politicians are, 98% of them, or 98.88888 with a bar over it percent of them would test positive for narcissistic personality traits. Do you have a bridge to sell me? I have a few dollars. Any bridge? You have all bridge. You own all bridges, right? You could just sell me any one of them. What about tunnels? You have any tunnels, Matt? Because I'm looking for a tunnel. Just not like a Bill Gates, so I could, run children underground. Not like an Oprah where I can run children underground kind of tunnel. Just like a tunnel for cars. I want to make it into like a since San Francisco is full of human shit, I want to take like their trolley idea, but put it underground in a tunnel that you could sell me. Because you own it. All right. The chariot races? Or how can you tell a communist? Or the Great Bedzani train robbery. That's actually a good one, but I'm not going to go to that one. Okay. The head-shaped pumpkin mold. Nah. Fuck that. There's too many better ones. Okay, here's a great one, guys. The bar over the number is called repeating. I'm proud of knowing that because I'm a loser. Yeah, when I saw you're talking about when I said 98.8888 with a bar over it because it repeats 8 forever. Yeah, repeating, right? See, you're smart. No, it's not because you're smart. It's not because you're a loser. It's because you're smart, Matt. Remember that, and don't ever forget that. Most people don't know those things. That's why I love saying them. Now, this is what I'm going to read next. Vodo Kakareko. This is actually a really good story. Dollface. Yeah, we don't want those kinds of tunnels. Not for us. Okay, so listen to this story. This story is really funny. When did this happen? In the 50s, okay, in Brazil. Politicians need to be thick-skinned, right? That's what it says. Not me. I'm going to put my light on a little blue. Okay. No, that doesn't help me read. That's not at all helping. My bad. There we go. All right, politicians need to be thick-skinned, right? That may explain why in 1958, a rhinoceros, not a rhino, not a Republican, in name only, a rhinoceros. Yeah, Matthew thinks he's smart. He is smart. That's why. All right, so in 1958, a rhinoceros was elected to serve on the Sao Paulo, Brazil City Council. With a population of 3 million. This is Brazil, right? The city was suffering from unpaved streets, open sewers, food shortages, and rampant inflation. Sounds sort of like Joe Biden's time in office. Oh, that's now! But officials had ignored these issues for years. You know, just because he said that, just because I'm talking about that, let's just make sure we remember that Biden said this.
I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here. And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
Yeah, and he wasn't kidding because he wants to bring him in the tunnel.
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which...
Yeah, that made a lot of sense, Joe. Anyway, so when the city council elections were held, a group of fed-up college students decided to nominate Kakareko, a female rhino living at the Sao Paulo Zoo. Part of the attraction might have been that her name means garbage in Portuguese. In all, 540 candidates, including many well-known incumbents, participated in the election, but voters were so eager to embarrass the failed city government that Kakareko won easily with a spectacular 100,000 votes for a rhinoceros. And even though she was disqualified from serving, the rhino was a female, the rhino's big win made news around the world. Better a rhinoceros than an ass. And that's a donkey, and that's a Democrat, a voter explained, and the quote made Time magazine. Kakareko's election left a legacy. Today in Brazil, a protest vote is known. This is what a protest vote is. Like when you write in a protest vote, like I might do if they do anything to Donald Trump. They call it a voto Kakareko. That's what it's called still to this day. Now, that's a cool story. I fucking love that story. I think this is the second time I've come across that page since I've had this. I mean, how cool is that, though? Like, this book is great. This book is great for entertainment. Call back on... You know it, man. I know what I'm doing, man. You know Joey, I didn't see this. Okay, here's the Bard's Best Barbs. Okay, you'll understand it once I read it. This is from Macbeth. Go prick thy face and overred thy fear, thou liver-lilied boy. There's something called As You Like It. Thou art like a toad, ugly and venomous. Coriolanus. He's a disease that must be cut away. Measure for measure. Thou art a fleshmonger, a fool and a coward. Cymbeline. Thy tongue outvenoms all the worms of the Nile. Wow. These are some disses. These are old school disses. These are awesome. Henry IV, Part 2. You scullion, you rampellion, you Fusterialian. I'll tickle your catastrophe. Wow, that's a good one. All's well that ends well. Methinkest thou art a general offense, and every man should beat thee. So you're offensive, and everyone should beat the shit out of you. Henry IV, Part 1. Thou clay-brained guts, thou naughty-pated fool, thou whoreson, meaning son of a whore, obscene, greasy tallow-catch. Wow, these are good disses I want to use one day. You are as a candle, the better burnt out. I scorn you, scurvy companion. What, you poor, base, rascally, cheating, lack-linen mate? Away, you moldy rogue. Henry IV, Part 2. Richard III. Thou art unfit for any place but hell. Henry V. Thine face is not worth sunburning. Your face isn't worth sunburning. That is a diss that can be used right now, today. That is good. It is all right. This is from Measure for Measure. It is certain that when he makes water, his urine is congealed ice. What? And here's the last one. I keep hitting the mic. Sorry. I do wish thou wert a dog, that I might love thee something. Some of those were good. Don't deny it. Don't deny it. Bad trips. Edison Schmedison. This is about how Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb. In fact, a black man invented not electricity, but the light bulb originally. Edison stole it from him, tweaked it, and then that's what happened. I don't know if that's what this story is. Is it? No. The aliens inside Mount Shasta. Yep, stabbing with words. Oh, I didn't see that. Read that, and then read. You did it 2 minutes apart. You said the word and then read the definition. But stichothemia, that's how I pronounce that word, is stabbing with words, which is what we were just doing, reading from very old school. You know, I wish there was some Shakespeare ones in there. You know, there's a shark. I don't know if you guys are. I love orcas. I hate the ocean. I will never go in the ocean. But my favorite living creature ever is the orca. And I'm also interested in sharks. There's a Greenland shark. Obviously, they live in cold water up in Greenland. That's older and was born before Shakespeare and is still alive today. Did you know that? Anyway, let me find another story. What college sports? Very little college. Yeah, college regular. Very little college. I mean, remember when liberal arts was like something you did when you didn't know what you were going to do yet? Now liberal arts is just like the major. It's like that's the only major. Liberal arts where I can study, black feminism, fart sensations, See, I told you not to let him down. He's smart. No, you don't tell me I don't think Matt's smart. I keep saying Matt's. I love Matt. I never said he wasn't smart. I said the opposite, if anything. Matt always understands what I'm talking about. So that's how I know. I know people are smart when I say things that are aren't normal, I guess you could say, and people know what I'm talking about. Look at this. This is what I have, a Nolan Ryan baseball card. This is what I'm using as bookmarks. Nolan Ryan. Who's the next one? Oh, look at this. Patrick Waugh and Mike Lute shared the best goals against average in 1990. This is a 1990 Patrick Waugh card. These are cards that are worth money that I just have in my in my book. Look at this. Roger Clemens, Red Sox. Look at that. Check this one out. Ricky Henderson. I know you're playing, Dollface. I know you're playing. Those are the cards that I have that I use as bookmarks. So let's go to Baseball Bazaar. Actually, since I just brought up those baseball players, it's just odd that I went to this. Let's see what this is. I never read this. Oh, the one before this I had. This is died on the. Oh no, Baseball Bazaar. Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Indians pitcher Bob Feller and Minnesota Twins outfielder Denard Span have something odd in common. Both hit their mothers in the stands with a foul ball. Feller, that's his name, not a fella. Feller hit his mom in 1939 and broke her collarbone. Span hit his during a spring training game in 2010. Both moms made full recoveries. So one in 1939 and then one in 2010, where both players hit a foul ball and hit their own mother with the ball. From 1936 to 46, Hall of Famer Joe Gordon, they call him Flash Gordon, played exactly 1,000 games for the Yankees. In that time, he had exactly 1,000 hits. If that was hockey, that would be a goal per game average. So he's got a hit per game. I don't know how that works in baseball. I'm a hockey guy. All right, breaking Babe Ruth's home run record will never be forgotten. It happened in the fourth inning of the fourth game of 1974 when the Braves' Hank Aaron, number 44, hit a homer off the Dodgers' Al Downing, number 44. That's cool. In the 1960s, the Kansas City A's, I guess they moved to Oakland? I didn't know that. Owner Charlie Finley installed a mechanical rabbit that popped up out of the ground, like I guess like the Mets, the apple at they used to be at Shea Stadium. I don't know if it's at the City Field. That popped out of the ground behind home plate to deliver new baseballs to the umpire. Oh, so a mechanical rabbit would give the umpire baseballs. That's weird. Finley wanted the rest of the owners to install rabbits too. He wanted every team to have a mechanical rabbit that gave the umpire a ball instead of giving someone a job as a ball boy, which they do now. Thank God, because if you go to the store to buy stuff, you have to work for the store, the supermarket now. If you didn't notice, if you go food shopping, not only do you go shopping, you also work at the register on your way out. So I suggest taking something for your time. In 1957, the Philadelphia Phillies' Richie Ashburn fouled off a ball that hit a fan named Alice Roth in the face, breaking her nose. As she was carried away on a stretcher, Ashburn fouled off another pitch and hit her again. The two later became friends. So this dude hit the same woman twice. He hit her once. They brought her out on a stretcher, and as she's on the stretcher, he hits another one, and the ball fucking hits her on the stretcher. That's great. He had it. Wait. He used orange balls. And wait, I got to read what you're reading. Ricky Henderson something. I didn't see that yet. Hold on. I was reading. You saw Ricky hit a leadoff homer on Easter Sunday, a doubleheader. He also had a donkey mascot. That's amazing. Yeah, a donkey mascot. That's the Democrat mascot. Yeah. So did you guys see this? I forgot. I don't know if you guys were here. If you were, I'm sorry, but Gino came back, and that's him giving me kisses in the car. This is him. He's a little tired. That little pink from my t-shirt makes it look like something's in his mouth, but no, he's all dirty, filthy. There's me and him in the car again. And he got a report card. They gave him a report card, and he did very well on his report card. I'm very proud of Gino. So let's all I guess give him a round of applause. Good job, Gino. You did good today, buddy. He's not with me right now, but he did very well. Thank you. Those pictures, the picture. It's very hard to get pictures of Gino because he's black and he has black eyes. So every time you take a picture of him, you can't see his face almost because it's just full black, and sometimes a flash will make it look blue, but yeah, everyone's saying, yay, Gino, he did great. It says, look, I'll show you right here. Let me just pull it up. On his report card, which is so cool that he gets a report card. This is his first day. Gino was a perfect gentleman, and he was somewhere in the middle between off the charts and needing a nap. So he was a perfect temperament. His attitude was friendly, playful, happy, and then in the beginning he was a little nervous. He played with Elsa, Snickers, Liberty, Cookie Duke, Skittles, Checkers, Fiji, Mac, and Rocky. But he also made a new friend, I think a girlfriend. I was so excited to meet new pup pals, especially my favorite, Rory. Now, Rory could be a male, but the person put a little heart there, so I'm not sure. And then comments, and they do it in third person as if they're the dog. I was really nervous to start, and they sent us a picture when he was first there. He wouldn't even get in front of the. If you pick up a phone, he'll turn away from you. He knows there's a camera, so he didn't want to be in the camera. He looked very scared in the picture. I don't have that picture. It's stupid, but I was really nervous to start. But after some time, I warmed up and had so much fun today. So that was Gino's report card. Thanks for caring about Gino like I do. I appreciate it. Gino is the most loving dog that I've ever had. I've always had a dog my whole life. Always had a dog. This is probably the best dog I've ever had. So he'll be 5 months on the 29th. I don't know if you guys know, my last dog named Jersey passed away on March 28th, and Gino was born on March 29th. We got him on June 2nd. We didn't know that he was born within 12 hours of our last dog passing away. So it's almost as if our dog's soul just transferred to another one and he's back with us. But our last dog was a female, so maybe Gino's gay. Who knows? He does not take great pics, Stacy. What the fuck are you talking about? And yes, applause for Gino. We will, of course, do another applause for Gino. All right, now I'm going to read something called the tapeworm trap. Tapeworms are vile little creatures. They take up residence in your intestines, which is a great place to take up residence, especially for me, since I had a lot of my intestines removed during my many bowel resection surgeries because I have Crohn's disease. Try and live in my intestine, tapeworm, bitch. Anyway, feed on the food you ingest and then steal all the nutrients for themselves. That's how you lose a lot of weight with a tapeworm. These days, that's why I don't lose weight, because I can't get a tapeworm. These days, they're not so much of a problem, at least in the first world, except when people misuse them as part of a fad diet, which they do purposely put tapeworms in people. But throughout history, tapeworms have wreaked havoc on the human body. In 1854, that seems like a year that keeps coming up in this book, an Indiana doctor named Alpheus Myers invented a tapeworm removal device that didn't employ medicines or cause much injury. Myers' gadget was a cross between a plumbing snake and a fishing pole. Oh, that's great. After fasting for a day to make your tapeworm hungry, gotta make them hungry, you swallow the device, a 3-inch long metal trap on the end of a metal chain. That's what you have to swallow. The trap went into the stomach, the other end hung out of the person's mouth. So now you're swallowing a trap and then holding the thing's still in your mouth while you're trying to breathe, even though you can breathe through your nose. It probably would cause anxiety and what's the word? I forgot. But you'd freak out because you think you're choking, even if you're not. Anyway, the trap went into the stomach, the other end hung out of the mouth. The trap, outfitted with any nutritious material, would lure the worm and grasp its head, at which point you would pull the trap from the mouth and the tapeworm with it. So the tapeworm in your intestines, first you swallow something, you got to keep the end of it in your mouth as it goes through your body into your intestines, wait for the tapeworm to bite it so you can grab the tapeworm and then pull it up through your intestines into your stomach where there's acid, all the way up, back out, and a tapeworm would come out of your fucking mouth? Is there another page to this? No. That's crazy. That's really cool and nice way to think. Boxes and jockeys use tapeworms a lot. Yep. Me and my girl will meet you and yours for a slice at Port Jeff. Who the hell are you talking to? Oh, me and my girl will meet you at Port Jeff. Are you talking to me, Matt? Let me read the rest of these comments. This program that me and Chris use is great, but I'm using like the touchpad. I don't have like a mouse. I need a mouse. And because of that, the little lines where you have to go up and down on something are so thin on this program. I have to get the arrow right on it to move up and down the comments and shit. It's like almost impossible to catch it. That's why it's so annoying. I just need a Bluetooth mouse, really. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm in Hicksville. So, but yeah, Port Jeff is obviously, I told you I've been to Port Jeff. What's it called? My email address is, yeah, I'm going to type my email address. Email me like your phone number with any way to get in touch with you. Here's my email address. All right, cool. Now, this is an old story. The fartiste. Listen, if you don't think fart jokes are funny, exit. No, I understand if you don't think fart jokes are funny, but farts and fart jokes are always funny. Joseph Pujol, 1857 to 1945, could control the pitch and timbre of his farts to create beautiful melodies and imitate people and animals. Known as Le Pétomane, the fartiste, aka the elastic anus, Pujol was the elastic anus. The elastic anus. Okay, Pujol. That's a good name. Pujol was one of the most popular acts in Paris. Now, of course, it's in Paris, where, like, you know, around from 1857 1945, a lot of debauchery would be happening in Paris, of all places, you know. So it makes sense. Here's a review of one of his shows at the Moulin Rouge. Okay, so the fartist or fartiste did a show at the Moulin Rouge, which is a famous place in Paris. He took the stage in a costume of red coat, a red silk collar, and almost sounds like Hunter Biden, and black satin breeches. I assume that means breeches. Meaning pants. He began by explaining each impersonation that was to follow. Elastic anus. Yeah, doll face. I mean, you can't make that shit up, right? I might change my channel name to Elastic Anus. I love that. Or it's a good name for like a shitty punk band. Anyway, let me go back to where I was. Let me start over. He took the stage in a costume of a red coat, a red silk collar, and black satin pants. He began by explaining each impersonation that was to follow. This is a little girl. This is a bride on her wedding night. Another. The morning after. It says loud rasping noise. A dressmaker tearing calico. 10 seconds of ripping cloth with his butt. And this is a cannon. Loud thunder. This is an actual review from like the newspaper, and obviously translated from French to English. The audience were at first astounded. Then there would be an uncontrollable laugh, which is normal, correct? Followed by more until the whole audience was wriggling in their seats, convulsed. That's awesome. Women bound rigid in corsets, were escorted from the hall by nurses, cleverly placed by the manager so that they could be seen in their bright white uniforms. That is actually the story that's next to the story called, the Mozart fart. I don't know how I didn't notice that last time, because I read you guys the Mozart fart. I don't know if you guys were there. You guys were there, right? That was a good one. Wow. Shit. Dicey history. All right. No. What time is it? 7 o'clock. Let me see if I got a text from. I did. No, I didn't. Okay. Anyway, while you're still here, Darwin in the bathroom. Died on the John. Tesla in the runaway train. Okay. Born in 1856 during a lightning storm, Nikola Tesla was a strange man. Also extremely smart. Leaving his stuff with Donald Trump's uncle, by the way. His wonderful, wonderful experiments and inventions. Anyway, according to Tesla biographer W. Bernard Carlson, the brilliant inventor once shook the shit out of Mark Twain. The two men were... Did I read this? The two men were friends, and one night Tesla invited Twain to check out his laboratory, or his laboratory. At one point, he told Twain to step up onto the high-frequency oscillator known as Tesla's earthquake machine. Unbeknownst to Tesla at the time, Twain had an upset stomach and wasn't feeling his best. But Twain was game, so he stepped up on the platform and Tesla flipped the switch. The famous author lasted about 90 seconds of severe shaking before jumping to the floor and running as fast as he could to the nearest, I assume, hole in a piece of wood bathroom. And yes, elastic anus. Exactly, Matt. Exactly. Whoops. Tesla, genius, New York City, Einstein, New Jersey. Einstein, Germany, but died in New Jersey, lived in New Jersey. How to speak hobo. Did I read this, guys? How to speak hobo? This is meaning hobo, like people who like are little hobos, like train hopping hobos. Let's check that out. I don't know. You guys got somewhere to be in a few minutes, I assume, right? You got some other stream to go to. Let me know so I know if how much time I got. Hobos were American migratory workers from a century ago. They were resourceful, self-reliant vagabonds who took on temporary work to earn a few dollars before moving on. Some experts think the word hobo comes from ho-boys, or farmers in the 1880s called their seasonal migrant workers. It may also be shorthand for the phrase homeward bound, used to describe destitute Civil War veterans who took years to work their way home. If you ever hop on a rail car and find a hobo to converse with, here's a quick primer, so you don't sound like a yegg, and you'll learn what a yegg is in 1 second. Accommodation car, the caboose of a train. Banjo, a portable frying pan. I use a banjo. Well, I'm a lefty. It's hard, it's very hard to get a lefty banjo. I did get my hands on one at one point. Anyway, big house is prison. Bindle stick is their small bundle of belongings tied up in this scarf or handkerchief or blanket hanging from a walking stick. They hold it over their shoulder, as you've seen in many depictions. Bull, a railroad cop, also called a cinder dick. Cannonball, a fast train. Chuck a dummy, pretend to faint. So if they're being pursued because they were like on a train, blah, 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 they would run, they would pretend to faint, and the people chasing them would stop because then they would worry that they caused someone to die. Like, this is a whole thought process that I looked further into the last time I read this. Yeah, of course, lefties are the besties. So they would pretend to faint, like they drop dead, and then the people chasing them would be like, whoa, 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 and then run away. So that's how they would get away from getting in trouble. So they would chuck a dummy, they call it. Chuck a dummy, pretend to faint. If there's a couple of hobos, one of them would drop. It's a pretty cool. It worked. Cover with the moon, meaning sleep out in the open. Hobo jungle. Cow crate, a railroad stock car. Crumbs, lice, also called graybacks and seam squirrels. So I guess hobos were getting lice a lot, like dogs would, I assume. And the next one's funny, called dog in it, traveling by bus. So that's when the hobos essentially are cheating, and they take a bus, and then they hop off and claim that they didn't take a bus to where they were. Easy mark. Everyone knows what an easy mark is, right? There's one very close to us in this community. We don't want to point out who it is, but there is a very easy mark around here somewhere. Not here in this chat, but if you know who I'm talking about, you just know. If you know, you know. That's all. Anyway. It is a very adventurous culture. I'm not done either. So the easy mark, a hobo sign or mark. Oh, no, this isn't what I thought it was. Okay, you know what an easy mark is when, like, in the criminal world. Easy mark here in the hobo world is different. It's a sign or mark that identifies a person or place where one can get food and a place to stay overnight. So they would have some, just like pedophiles have their symbols. They have symbols that they would, when they hop off a train, they would, this is a good place to stay, and they would have a specific symbol. So a hobo would be like, oh, another hobo has been here, and he's slept here. He knows it's a good place, and it's safe. So, talking to me, Dollface? Oh, Matt said that. Dollface, you're an easy mark. Okay, honey dipping. Working with a shovel in a sewer. Hot. A hobo wanted by the law. Okay, so the person's hot, wanted by the law. Same thing as like a hot gun, whatever. Knowledge box. This is a funny one. I guess because they sleep in old knowledge boxes. A schoolhouse. An old schoolhouse where hobos sometimes sleep. Moniker. Nickname. That's in the dictionary. Road kid. A young road kid. I do not like this. A young hobo who apprentices. A young hobo who apprentices himself to an older hobo in order to learn the ways of the road. You understand where I'm going with that one, right? Rum-dum, a drunkard. Snipes, another... Oh, this is good. OPCB, snipes, other people's cigarette butts. Snipe hunting is to go looking for cigarette butts in the street or in front of 7-Eleven, for instance, where people drop cigarette butts, and then hobos will run and pick up all the cigarette butts, break them open, take all the tobacco and roll them themselves, or they'll just smoke the butt. They'll do either one. I've seen both. Young sex toy. Exactly, Matt. Thank you. Exactly what I meant. Road kid. There's two more. Spear biscuits. So look for food in garbage cans. So I'm wondering how they use that term. To look for food in garbage cans is called spear biscuits, or the food that you get is a spear biscuit. Like you speared a biscuit out of the garbage can and you eat it. I'm confused on spear biscuits. Anyway, the last one is yeg, and that is the lowest form of a hobo because he's the one who steals from other hobos. Now, they'll steal from everyone. But if you steal from another hobo, you're a yeg. Remember that. But you can steal from me. You can steal from Matt, Baby Doll, Stacy, Chris, Trump, all the guys in Vanilla Fudge. You can steal from all those guys. But you can't steal from a hobo or you're a fucking yeg. All right. Didn't hear the okay. Okay, these are good. I'm gonna tell a quick story. I don't know if it's in here, but did you know that in Ohio, when cars were first invented, or whatever you want to call it, there were only 2 cars in all of Ohio, and they happened to crash into each other? In all of the state of Ohio, which I can't say is the greatest place in the world, it's like the northern Florida. There were only 2 cars. With all of Ohio, they happen to crash into each other. You got it, Matt. Two more fatal firsts by car on September 14th, 1899. Henry Bliss stepped down from a streetcar at West 74th and Central Park West in New York City. As he turned to help a female passenger down the stairs, he was struck by a passing cab, making the 68-year-old man the first pedestrian killed by an automobile in the United States. So, in 1899, it did not take long for someone to get killed by a car after they invented cars. Now, by plane. Excuse me. Hold on 1 second. Not a Logan Paul fan. I just like the drink. Actually, I like Jake Paul. I like how he's telling his brother to go fuck himself. All right. By plane. 5 years after their historic first flight at Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their new plane, the Wright Flyer, on a cross-country tour to prove it could safely carry passengers. Their third stop was at Fort Myer, Virginia, on September 17th, 1908. As a crowd of 2,000 cheered Orville Wright, not Redenbacher, Orville Wright, and his passenger, Lieutenant Thomas E. Selfridge of the U.S. Signal Corps, lifted it off into the sky. Then the propeller snapped in two, and the Wright Flyer nosedived 150 feet into the ground. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Selfridge was killed instantly. That's how bad it is. Wright suffered multiple hip and leg fractures that plagued him with chronic pain for the rest of his life. So that was the first plane crash and the first car crash. Yeah, exactly. The Wrong brothers. I like Jake Paul because he's maturing. I'm not saying I'm a fan, Dollface, but he's maturing as a person. He's not acting like, that YouTube hype beast idiot anymore. He's mature, unlike his older brother, who's still acting like a bitch and using his younger brother. I've seen them go at it recently, so that's why I mentioned it. I'm not into that scene and watching all that stuff, really, to be honest with you. I don't watch any of their fights because they're not real fights and, whatever. Ancient Powers. Psychos on Acid. Did I ever read First Jobs of World Leaders? Exactly, Matt. Logan's at least the worst of the two. And he's the older brother, which you would think would be the better of the two. The one who's leading the way, trying to maybe calm the little brother down. No, absolutely continue to hate them. I just took the word hate away and replaced it with dislike. So, I don't know if you can see it the way I'm seeing it, but I just pinched hate, took it, and put dislike there for Jake Paul. Because I see him maturing using rational thinking. When you see someone that's in a position like that, especially at a young age, not using rational thinking, that's normal. When you see someone like Jake Paul who's been so outrageous and now is rationally thinking about what he says before he says it, he's been right about a lot of things that he said in the arguments I've seen him. Seeing him mature is good. That's all. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not, ever gonna be a fan. There's nothing to be a fan of for me. I'm not a boxing fan. You know what I was thinking the other day though? In 100 years from now, will people still be talking about Mike Tyson? Like Mike Tyson, like everyone, like how Mike Tyson is for the last 30 years known as, like, when you talk about fights or punching or anything, everything is referenced to Mike Tyson. In 100 years from now, will people still be referencing Michael Jordan and Mike Tyson? You know what I'm saying? Or Wayne Gretzky? Like, are these names in 100 years still going to be touted the way they're touted today? I wonder. Maybe because they're like the originals, probably. Like, Tyson was, I wouldn't say Tyson is the first original boxer. Like, no, there was that's not true at all. Wayne Gretzky, you could say, was the first great known hockey player. He maybe because there was before him Gordie Howe. There's so many before him too. So, like, I don't know. What about? I would say, what about because of what's going on today, Jeff Bezos? Not Elon Musk. Elon Musk 100 years from now will be spoken about, no question. Donald Trump, no question. Donald Trump was a president, so obviously. But Donald Trump in 100 years from now, people are going to be telling their family members what they did to Donald Trump and what happened in this country. Jack Dempsey was a great fighter. Let me find another story. I thought I could swear to God that that there's some other streams going on. Yeah, Jack Dempsey was what, in the 20s, right? 18 through like 1927 or some years like that. Notable bulbs of history. The Wrath of Dolly. Okay. 50-0. Yep. And you know what? Who fought Floyd Mayweather? Logan Paul, right? Beat Floyd Mayweather in like a little scrimmage fight where he like uses it against his his brother actually won fights, and then Floyd Mayweather just kind of jumped in the ring and like played around with Logan Paul, and they said Logan Paul won, and he's using that against his brother, saying I beat the best boxer ever or whatever. No, you didn't, man. That fucking Floyd Mayweather Sr. would fucking knock you out. He's a fucking fake fighter. You know what? I don't like wrestling, but Logan Paul's good. He's good at wrestling. He's at WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. He's actually pretty good. But wait, didn't they? Oh, so he didn't win that bout? I don't know. I don't watch that shit. I thought he said he fought him. That's what he said. 1914 and 1927. Yeah, Dempsey, right? Yeah, Lennox Lewis should probably be remembered. So I guess Mike Tyson too. Yeah. All right. Real life Frankenstein. Let's check that out. In 1932, this scientific wonderkind, must be German, he graduated from the University of California at 18 and earned his PhD by 22, became obsessed with the idea that he could bring the dead back to life, not by electricity, but through the use of a teeter-totter or a seesaw. I gotta watch this now. Now that you said this, I just want to see it. Like, I don't care, but I want to see it. Inspired by the work of George Washington Cryle, Crile. There's an E at the end, so it wouldn't be Krill. It's Cryle, I guess. On blood transfusion, Cornish believed that placing a recently deceased person on a seesaw and moving the body up and down rapidly, combined with an injection of epinephrine and oxygen, would get the blood circulating again. He spent more than a year attempting to revive victims of heart attack, drowning, and other sudden deaths with his seesaw therapy. Seahorse therapy. His success rate, 0.0. Then in 1934, Cornish was able to resurrect two dogs, Lazarus the Fourth and Lazarus the Fifth. For a short time, no word on the fates of Lazarus's 1 through 3, of course. He later played himself in the 1935 movie Life Returns, about a doctor who attempts to revive the dead. That's a movie I'd watch. I'm a big fan of the Marx Brothers. Love movies from like 1939, early 40s Marx Brothers movies. Great. Marx Brothers are hilarious. Harpo Marx is definitely my favorite. Groucho too, but like Harpo Marx is a genius, doing his silent act. If you haven't watched any old Marx Brothers comedy, please watch their movies. They are fucking hilarious. Duck Soup is one of them. That's where kind of I got the name Duck Taco from, because of Duck Soup. I mean, the Marx Brothers were just geniuses from childhood on. Definitely watch it. They're all on YouTube. Also, Groucho Marx did a game show for like 30 years. What's my line? It's called What's My Line, and it was a radio show, but it was also on television. I've watched thousands of episodes, or not thousands of episodes, hundreds of episodes of this, and it's from the 50s, early 60s, whatever, black and white. Really funny. And in the comments is what's really cool is when you read and saying, people are like, hey, that's my grandma. and telling us like where they went. Because like at the time there was, there'd be like a pretty like 24-year-old woman, and Groucho Marx would like, hit on her. It's on TV. He's joking around, whatever. And then like someone be like, that was my grandmother. She turned out to, do this, this, and this. I love seeing that stuff. Love seeing that stuff. Oh, your sister loves the Marx Brothers? Yeah, the Marx Brothers are the best. Groucho Marx was a very good writer. But Harpo Marx decided to go silent. Obviously, he's not a mute. He was the most talkative out of all the Marx Brothers. There's 5 of them, actually. 3 of them famous, 4 of them in the movies, and a 5th one who never was in show business. All right, so let's read this. I've never seen this. Wait, no. The Final Days of King Charles II, or The Aquaman of Kent. Paper clothing. That's where I'll go. The odd fashion fad was created in 1966. Wow. What a surprise that in the late 60s, people were making clothes out of paper and other weird items. By the Scott Paper Company to promote its color explosion paper towels, napkins, and toilet paper. Scott, the company, probably never intended for people to take the paper dresses very seriously. But when the company received more than 500,000 orders in 6 months for paper dresses that they give you when you go in jail or in the hospital and you're like shitting yourself, those are the kinds of dresses we're talking about. A full line of paper clothing, including $8 maternity dresses, $12 men's suits made out of paper, and even $15 wedding gowns were available. Now, in 1966, that was still very cheap, but they're also made of paper. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's pretty durable, It's crazy. Some of the paper shirts actually don't rip, which is funny. But I would assume at this time, maybe they did. I don't know. That's just my assumption. They just pick up paper clothes at their destination and throw them away at the end of the trip, which is a pretty good idea. That's why they got to be cheap. The fad really caught on. The Duchess of Windsor, Joan Kennedy, and even the Beatles were spotted wearing paper clothing. The Beatles also stole a lot of their guitar riffs from early 1950s black guitarists. Did you know that? That's not in the book. That's just me talking. Paper clothing is here to stay, Time magazine proclaimed in 1967, only 1 year later, but it was wrong, as usual. Time magazine can go fuck itself. Paper clothes ballooned out in unpredictable places, tore easily, and cost too much to replace constantly. The fad was dead by 1970. And here's a quote on the bottom. There's always a silly quote. Not always. There's always There's always a quote or something. Oscar Wilde said, "To be really medieval, one should have no body. To be really modern, one should have no soul. To be really Greek, one should have no clothes." You know what? I believe this 100%. Paper wedding dress probably sold like crazy. Seen documentary with video about... You seen a documentary about the paper clothes, Matt? I want to see that documentary. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to find it tonight. Believe me. Believe that. See, now, on my old channels that have all been, taken down by YouTube, which is, some people on Rumble, they bitch at me because my name on Rumble is banned by YT, banned by YouTube. But then they say, well, then why do you have a YouTube channel connected to it? Why are you, there's some comments saying that my bio says, this is my YouTube channel. And that's, I didn't say I was banned. Yeah, I've been banned by YouTube 9 times, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep popping up and coming back. But yes, I'm banned by... I don't know anyone who's been banned more than me by in any platform whatsoever. That's just me personally. Of course, there probably are many people who've been banned way more than me. But I personally don't know who's been banned even close. Because I'm usually not scared to say what I want to say and let it be heard. And if they want to take it down later, let them. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I think of it. Oh, I want to read this. Let's see. Oh. Why? I'm not good at getting these up. Okay. Some are still in existence. For a while in the 90s, you could find a vintage piece in a secondhand shop of the paper clothes. So you're saying the paper clothes from then were durable enough to last till the 90s? Okay, that's pretty cool then. They do make, like those not like the turtle suit that you would see in like Suffolk, in like Riverhead or Yaphank or Nassau County Jail, but they have shirts that are paper for suicide things, right? And they're made of paper, and it doesn't rip, but it is a paper material. I wonder if that's the same material. Yeah, Dollface's comments are great. I'm glad Dollface showed up. I was, Dollface, I gotta say, after the weeks ago when you guys were like, hey, yeah, I'll be there in a few minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be up there in 5-10 minutes. I'll be streaming, and all you guys were like, all right, I'll be there, and then no one showed up. I was like, wow, shit. And it's probably, I think it got taken down anyway, but. So since then, I was like, I wonder if now since I lost my channels, I was like, I wonder if Dollface even knows my channel, I'm trying to get Matt. I know Matt's his @ thing, like @ Matthew Zizzo and the numbers, like I have it down so I could, just in case I lose another channel, so I could just tag him or something and be like, hey, I'm still alive over here. Did you guys watch the movie Spinal Tap? Have you seen Spinal Tap? Because I'm going to read the Spinal Tap moments. Yeah, that's what I figured, Dollface. So I was looking for you, but I didn't know how to find you through, because now they do. At least I like the fact that they added the tagging, so you can tag through the @ so I can put @ Dollface or whatever your thing is. I like how they did that. Yeah, I did. I did do the Spinal Tap moments because it talks about the Who and stuff like that, I think. Oh, you had to ask Matt. Oh no, Matt. I'm just messing around, bro. Like, I'm not like. In reality, if I was actually mad, then I would be. You would need to be put me in like a mental hospital, because if something like that would get me mad, like if I had 1 million followers, maybe I would be mad. But I mean, come on, I'm saying this is what happened was I did a stream and like you guys said you were gonna come, but you didn't, which is fine, whatever. And then I lost the channel, and then Dollface showed up last time because Chris canceled on me like 2 out of the last 4 times on Friday, right? And then one of those times he tried, Chris, if you're watching, you tried, buddy. You know that we were supposed to debate Donald Trump versus DeSantis. I had my notes. I had everything ready to destroy you. I love you, Chris, but destroy you, because Ron DeSantis is garbage and he's a rhino, and I could prove it. And you knew we were going to do that, so I didn't have anything ready, Chris. You knew it, and then you said that we already did it. Please find me that footage. I'd like to see that footage since we already did it, because I would have won, and I would remember winning that argument. So when I started reading Strange History, he got mad at me. He's like, never do that again, and then I had to turn it on and be like, hey, buddy, you never do that again. Thank you, Dollface. You're right. And you know what? Spinal Tap, it was the start of many, many good movies. Like, what's the movie with the dogs? Best in Show, A Mighty Winds. The movies with Eugene Levy and all the people from SCTV. Those movies are hilarious. They're like mockumentary movies. Who are the people who make those movies? The guys from Spinal Tap are all in those movies. One of them's like the director of those movies, though. Why am I going to YouTube? I want to. The guy who plays bass in Spinal Tap is like the mind behind all of it. Christopher Guest, yeah. Eugene Levy, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer. Well, Eugene Levy wasn't Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap is Michael McKean, Harry Shearer, and Christopher Guest. but they made all those movies, Best in Show and A Mighty Wind. I forgot the name of the other ones. They're really, really good movies, though. For your consideration, these are really good movies. Ace of Base? What? All right, so Vlad the Impaler. Well, as they say in the hood, Vlad be impaling. And that hood is Roosevelt, Long Island. 15th century Romanian ruler Vlad Dracula was better known as Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, for his method of torturing and executing thousands of his enemies. And I'm sure, just like communists do, communism wasn't around then, but it was in theory. He probably killed his own people too. I'm sure he did. I know he did. And even his own countrymen. See? I was right. By impaling them upon wooden poles. A certifiable psycho. Vlad enjoyed watching people suffer and made sure an impalement took several hours, sometimes even days. And I'm not even going to read on, but imagine being impaled and not being dead. And they impale... I'm going to stand up. They impale by starting up your ass and then it coming out of your mouth. So that's how that Vlad would impale you. And imagine being alive for days with a wooden stake through your ass and your body and out your mouth, and you're not dead. Just imagine that. Vlad Guerrero. Vlad enjoyed watching people suffer and made sure the impalement took several hours, even days. There were even various forms of impalement depending on age, rank, and gender. And I wonder how many genders he picked. Do you guys want to guess how many genders Vlad was picking? Do you think he had 72 different options? Or 2? Yet, amazingly, in spite of his legendary cruelty, Vlad is often spoken of as a hero in Romanian history. And that is true. Why? Because he used the terror of his reign to maintain public order and defend the country against foreign invasion, even though he was killing his own countrymen. That's what, just like they say about Stalin. The same shit. One time he scared off an advancing army by displaying the impaled remains of his previous invaders, 20,000 Turks outside his city. So 20,000 bodies were impaled. Just imagine a field of wooden sticks that are, 8-9 feet in the air with bodies on them. 20,000 of them, and you just walk over a hill and that's what you see. You gonna keep walking? Nope. And he put that right outside his city. But old habits die hard. When Dracula was later overthrown and imprisoned, he would catch insects and mice in his cell and impale them. A lady's famous for impaling people? Was it the Spanish lady that was part of the cartel in California? Is that what you're talking about? Look at my banner down there. I spelled a word wrong. No one even tells me. I gotta fix this. Permanent. Look at that. Permanent. Okay, now it's spelled right. Sweet. Medieval time. Oh. Elizabeth Bathory? Talking about Bathory? Do I have my Bathory shirt up here? Where's my Bathory shirt? You're talking about the Blood Countess, Elizabeth Bathory? Who would kill, torture, and impale virgins and bathe in their blood? Yeah, I know, Matt, but I don't mind. I you see how I had the word permanent in capital letters? I noticed it and I'm like, oh shit. I would have told you, to be honest with you. Not making fun, saying, hey, you're an idiot. It was just clearly I'm typing, I hit a button and didn't notice. Elizabeth Bathory. I am very well. I know a lot about Elizabeth Bathory. I have shirts with her on it. I literally have t-shirts with her on it. I have one around here somewhere. And also the band Bathory, which took their name from her, is one of my favorite death metal bands. Black metal, whatever you want to call it. I think they're a mix of both, really. Anyway, Napoleon. Did you know Napoleon tried to kill himself? Yeah, Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess. Yes, we love Bathory here at what's the name of my shit? Pierre Delecto the Second. You know Pierre Delecto. Does anyone know who Pierre Delecto is? I'll give you a second. Sorry, be right back. Well, I don't have a mouse yet, but I did find a mouse pad just now. So when I do get a mouse, I have a devil's mouse pad. Randomly found that while I was up. I was actually trying to, I could swear to God, because I have these shirts right here, like right next to me, like this one. And this one. So I have Bathory shirts right here. I have a Betty Page shirt and a Elizabeth Bathory shirt. I can't find it. I'll show it to you next time, though. You want trivia questions? You know I do trivia on my other channel, right? Well, it's usually hockey trivia. But we could do trivia if you want. It's 7:30. Okay. I hope Gino. I've left Gino alone since I've gotten back because when he comes to this room, he immediately goes behind me and lays down. I have a blanket, like this blue blanket. I didn't pull it up all the way. This blue blanket, like behind me, and this with this divider behind me here. He lays against that and lays on the blanket, and like, you know, if he's cold, he'll like, you know, cuddle himself in it. But I don't want him to do that now because he just got back from the puppy daycare. I want him to eat and drink and stuff. So I don't have him in here. I wonder how he's doing though. Anyway, Napoleon tried to kill himself. So let's hear about that. When Napoleon Bonaparte was about to be exiled to the island of Elba in 1814, the disgraced French emperor tried to commit suicide. I don't think he was disgraced. In order to spare himself and his family the humiliation. But unbeknownst to Napoleon, the poison that he carried with him had lost its effectiveness. I guess it didn't have an expiration date on it. So it only paralyzed him temporarily. Well, that must have sucked. He recovered the next day and lived long enough to escape exile. Right? So he was like, oh, good. Thank God I had that bad shit. Someone sold me some fake crack. He recovered the next day, lived long enough to escape exile, rise back to power, and fight the British in the Battle of Waterloo. So the Battle of Waterloo wouldn't have happened. No, Gino's good. He's being taken care of. It's fine. The fight involved 200,000 soldiers, 50,000 of whom were killed, injured, or captured. Napoleon lost, finally putting an end to his reign. He died in 1821 on the island of St. Helena in the Atlantic Ocean. And that island has a huge volcano on it. So that's why they put him there, probably, hoping the volcano would take him out. Let's see. The Curse of Macbeth. Alba. Next of skin. Okay, I don't know what this means, but it's got a trivia question at the end, so that might be good. Cock. You know, wait. Let's talk about cock for a second. Not in the way that you're hoping. You know, South Carolina has the Gamecocks as the USC. Well, I have a beanie. Well, I used to have a beanie hat, and it just said in that maroonish color that they have, it said Cox. So I had a beanie, and I lived down in Florida. This is when I lived in Hallandale Beach, Florida. So I would wear this hat that said Cox on it. I didn't even know. I'm not into college sports. I didn't even know that it was a team. I think someone gave it to me and said, "Hey, there's a hat that says Cox. Funny, blah blah blah." Right? Then, so I'm wearing this hat. I think it's funny. I go to. I end up going from Florida to South Carolina. I lived in Sumter, South Carolina, right across from the Shaw Air Force Base, which is the second biggest Air Force Base in the country or in the world. I'm not sure. One of the two. And when I went there, I realized, oh, that's a team. You know, they had shirts everywhere. Everywhere I went in the supermarkets, they just said Cox. Like the word cock is everywhere. It was just everywhere, and it ruined the hat for me, which was stolen. The hat was stolen, but for that year that I had that hat, and I was down in South Florida wearing a beanie. I would go outside wearing a beanie hat that said Cox, sweating my balls off. You own a game dog. What is a? I don't know what a game dog is. A gamecock. Oh, duh. Sorry. You got me on that one. I'll admit that. Anyway. Oh, I hear Gino barking. Is he a knocking? Do I hear Gino a knocking? I do. Let's catch Gino. Hey, buddy. Come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Come over here, Bubba. Oh, good boy. Gino's here. Hey, whoa. Oh, look at him quiet. Whatever's in your mouth just went in my mouth, you shithead. There he is. You've been waiting for him. And he's here. Say hi, Gino. I don't know what dickhead stole my cock's hat. Probably some cocksucker. Gino. Say hi, boo boo. Look at the camera. Look over here. Look right here, buddy. Look, you're on candid camera. Yeah, I got it now. Yeah, I didn't get it at first. I was like, what are you talking about? A game dog? Okay. Which dickhead stole my cock hat? Oh, that joke. Yes, I did get that. All right, Gino. We're gonna show. Is Dollface here? Yeah. See how? Look at his eyes. Look at the camera, Bubba. I stopped calling him Gino like a week ago. I call him like Bubba. I just call him Bubba. I'm like, hey Bubba. Hey Bubba. That's what I do. He loves me though. He loves me. Good boy. Alright. I gotta read some stories or something. Go on the bed. Good boy. Nope. No garbage can. Devil's garbage can. Gotta move it. Well, he might be shiny because he's been playing with dogs all day, and I pretty much I'm pretty sure that he needs me to wash him, which I'll do in a little while. I'll probably either, depending on how hot it is outside, I'll either go outside with the hose and just like and put some shampoo on him, or I'll bring him in the bathroom, put shorts on, turn the shower on, get in the shower, and he like follows me in there, and he'll stand there, and then I'll just pick him up and bring him in the shower and like wash him while I'm in the shower. Obviously, I don't want my dick hanging out because he might bite it, so I would keep shorts on, of course. Honestly, you just got to be honest with you. You got to be careful. He jumps and bites in, he jumps high too. So even if I was like, 6'5" or something, he would still be able to get that dang hanging down my leg, go down to my kneecaps, don't you know? What are you eating? Where are you? Get the... Alright, you could have that. He was gonna eat Roger Clemens. He's kibbles and he's bits. Alright, next of skin. In 1881, a murderous train robber named Big Nose George Parrott was captured by angry townspeople in Rawlins, Wyoming, and hanged. After no next of kin claimed the body, two local doctors, Thomas McGee and John Osborne, claimed it in the name of science. Dr. McGee examined Big Nose George's brain and gave the skull cap to his wife. That you're allowed to give the skull cap of someone to people's wives? Then he removed the skin from George's chest and thighs and mailed the flesh to a tannery in Colorado. Wait, what's going on here? Where it was made into human leather. Dr. Osborne then had the leather made into a coin purse, not his ball sack, a real coin purse, a doctor's bag, and a pair of shoes. That is sick. Osborne loved his Big Nose George shoes. He loved Big Nose George. This guy, he loved him so much, he wanted his body to be his clothing. He wore them while practicing as a country doctor, and when he was elected Democratic governor of Wyoming, see, it never fails, Democrat, in 1892, in what some claim was a stolen election. What? That is not allowed on YouTube, even if it was in 1892. The Democrats are claiming the election was stolen. What are we going to do? Bring Susan Wojcicki back. I need to talk to her because the other guy doesn't speak English. I need to discuss this. He wore the shoes to his inauguration, which must surely make him the only elected official in U.S. history sworn into office while wearing another man's skin, a Democrat. Let's hope so. Anyway, I think Obama is wearing a skin suit. Anyway, on the bottom here it says, question, what are jingle bobs, heel chains, and rowels? Rowels spelled R-O-W-E-L-S, like towels, but with an R. Jingle bobs or heel chains. They're all part of something. I guess you could have mailed flesh back in that day. I wonder how they preserved it, right? I don't think anyone's going to get this. It's the part of a cowboy's spurs on the cowboy's boots. These jingle bobs, heel chains, and rowels are all three different parts of their boots, I guess. Buffalo Bill, yeah. It reminds me of the real Buffalo Bill guy in Minnesota, yeah, making human masks. Yep. No, well, that was Nebraska. Ed Gain. Ed Gain, right? Talking about Ed Gain? He made lamps and stuff with the skin. He killed a bunch of girls. His mother, too, of course. He used the skin suit with his mother. Albert Fish Albert Fish was a New York serial killer, probably the worst of all time. Killed a lot of kids. You should either watch a documentary on Albert Fish or read up on him. If you were a fan of Marilyn Manson in the 90s, one of the original members, his name was Ginger Fish, because they would take the name of like a supermodel or something and then a serial killer, and he used Albert Fish's last name. And Gain, I don't think, was used with the Marilyn Manson band. Yeah, he made skin lampshades. He made skin knife sheaths. Yeah, he killed a woman in a it's still there. The in like a fuck, I can't remember things when I'm trying to remember. When I need to know them, I can't remember them. In like a department store. And it was like a very well-known department store. She worked there. He went in there and killed her. Brought her to his place, killed her, did whatever he did, and then went back. Yes, my light just fell. Then went back there, like, wearing her. And that building is still, it's like still in the town, and I believe the house that he was doing this in is still there, or the shack that was like next door to the house where he was doing all this, Ed Gain. I believe that shack is there, and the house might have been torn down. Matt, Albert Fish got away with, I mean, the guy probably killed 200 kids. You know, now he was taking children from New York City, and in his time, kids in the city would just go out in the streets and, like, you know, they'd be out all day, and they were easily missing. They were going missing like crazy, as they still are today. But at that time, you know, it was really hard, especially with the man like Albert Fish, who was unassuming. His first murder, Dollface, his first murder, Albert Fish, was a 12-year-old girl. Now, listen to his, I guess you could say it's not an excuse, but listen to how he frames this. And this is how people were back in this time. He told the mother of this girl, hey, there's a dance at this, you know, whatever. There's a local dance going on for kids. I'll be her. And this is a stranger. He did not know this woman, and he said, "I'll be her I'll supervise her, whatever the word you want to call it." He said, "I'll bring her to the thing. I'll bring her home by 8:00." Right? He didn't bring her to the fucking thing. He brought her upstate, or this was in the city, I think. He brought her into Westchester area. He killed her, but he did not sexually abuse her in any way. And his thing was, he was not convincing, but he was you wouldn't worry about him. He looked like just a simple old man who wasn't dangerous. That was his thing. So he was unassuming. That's the word. And chaperone is also a word I was looking for. So he would chaperone. He's a very unassuming man, but he was so unassuming that they couldn't identify him because he was just like every other old man that wore a long coat at the time. They all had the same kind of clothes. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard for them to identify him as he lived among them, you know, with his own son, he had his own kids, you know, and he brought his thing with the first girl that he murdered was that he didn't take her virginity. So he said, well, at least I didn't take her virginity. Like that was his argument, you know? Yeah, he did. I mean, if you look up Albert Fish, knowing who he is now, you'll see evil just by seeing him. But if you didn't know who he was and I pulled his picture up, you'd be like, oh, that's someone's grandpa or something, or you know what I mean? Like that's really it. But once you know who he is, and then I say, hey, this is this guy who's killed all these kids, then you could see it in their eyes and immediately, you know, it's scary. It's very scary. Very scary. Let's see here. What do we got? Gino, you still in here? I bet he took one of my fucking shoes. Thank God I'm wearing my. I know Stacy knows this if she's still here, but if you've ever heard of the brand Kizik, these shoes I'm wearing, they like you don't have to tie them, and they're like slip on, but they're regular shoes. But you don't like they have no problem with the tongue is like I gotta show you. These things are fucking awesome. They have like this thing where the tongue is like connected, so you could just put them on the floor, and like if they're on the floor, you just slip your feet right into them. But they're not like slip-ons, you know. They're really comfortable. They look pretty good for as long as I've had them, and all the wear I've put on them. They were only like I think they were like $99. Great shoes, Kizik. I need a new pair, actually. My birthday is October 8th. If any of you guys want to get me Kizik shoes for my birthday. Just kidding, obviously. Okay, Legends of the Big Dipper. That's interesting. Okay. You never heard of it? Yeah, you know where I found them? I found them on an ad on Twitter, actually. I just saw, I was like, oh, those look pretty cool. And then I looked into them. Obviously, you got to check out reviews of real people reviews, and people seem to like them. So I ordered them. I got them. They came in a really cool box. I still have the box, but they're the greatest shoes ever, Dollface. I mean, October 8th is my birthday. And, so they're just on the floor, and like I don't have to sit down and like put my shoes on and tie them. They're already set for my feet, and I just slip my feet in them and go. But they're sneakers. They're regular sneakers. They're not slip-ons. They're not like deck shoes, I think they call them, or like boat shoes. They're just regular shoes, And this is what the laces look like that. I got this gray pair. And you just slip your foot right into them. They're fucking awesome. I need a new pair, but for the winter. But these ones are great. Definitely great. All right, so almost assassinated. 5 freaky facts about indigenous people. When's your birthday, Dollface? Are you a Libra? All right. The Uapi Indians, or I don't know how to say it, UAPA, the ape Indians of Brazil, mix the ashes of their dead with their alcohol. The Sioux chief Sitting Bull, his name in his own language is Tatanka Yotanka. Tatanka, WWF. If you remember, he was undefeated for like 2 years in WWF in the early 90s, Tatanka. The Apaches referred to horses as god dogs. Not guard, god, G-O-D. So basically they were like, these are huge dogs. And they're godlike. Polynesian explorers used stars, wind, wave patterns, and seagulls to navigate their way across the Pacific. It's a good way to navigate. That's very smart. I don't know why that's a freaky fact, though. Oh. Lily, downstairs, her birthday is January 31st. So yeah, I don't see if this isn't freaky that they used. That's how they navigated. I mean, that makes sense. The Aztecs sacrificed up to 15,000 people a year to their sun god. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I challenge you to a duel. Stick plus ball equals fun. Do you know, trivia question? Hey, I don't know if Matt's still here, but trivia question. What is the national sport? And Stacy, if you know this, don't say it. What is the national sport of Canada? What would you say? Don't look it up. Don't look it up. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's Canada. They got money. I'm sponging knowledge from you. Spit as long as you want, bro. Oh, thank you. Matt, that's exactly why I'm hoping people go back and watch other streams that I've done that no one's seen, because I just talk. And when I'm talking to no one is when I'm really saying things that are coming in, that are in my head, that I just spout out because I know no one's even watching me. And I say a lot of shit that is very interesting. I do not make up stories. I always talk about facts and, stuff like that. So I really appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you. No, it is not hockey. It is lacrosse. And that's just weird, right? I get Canadians with that one. Canadians are like, hockey. I'm like, no. All right. The birth of political correctness. The boogeyman. Rest in peace, the boogeyman. It seems like everyone is talking about political correctness these days, so you'd think that this method of using language that seemingly goes out of its way to not offend anyone is a relatively modern term, like maybe from the 80s or 90s. It actually dates way further back than that, all the way back to the founding of the United States. during a 1793 U.S. Supreme Court case called Chisholm versus Georgia. Justice James Wilson argued that it is the people, not the states, who held the real power in the country. He wrote, "To the United States instead of to the people of the United States is the toast given. This is not politically correct." The phrase was used sparingly in politics after that. It didn't hit the mainstream until the 1960s when pinko hippie commies, socially minded progressives or activists, revived the terms. You know, I had a banner just like this banner that said pinko commies. If you look at my streams, back in my other streams, you'll see me pop up whenever I talk about commies. It said pinko commies. Politician incorrect. Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner, but his son Philip Barton Key also made a name for himself. He was shot and killed in 1859 by New York Congressman Daniel Sickles, Democrat, for having an affair with Sickles' wife, Teresa. Another Democrat killer, and he probably was a pedo. Yeah, well, we also now have yeah, exactly. Like, Matt, that's funny you say that, because we, like, me and you, Dollface too, and Stacy, I guess. I think is Dollface Long Island. We are in like lacrosse world right here. But no, it's lacrosse. Back before the white man, I guess you could say, came here. Lacrosse was a sport by the natives where they would use human heads, and they play lacrosse cross country. They didn't have a little field. They were going across, like, I would say the size of states is what they were playing a game with thousands of people on each team. And that's how lacrosse started in Canada. And they used the human head. So, I wonder what the names of the teams were. But that was back in, of course, before, the people that knew how to build and do things showed up. And build houses and, stuff like that. That's why Africa's still made of mud huts. You're on the other side of the ferry, but the Long Island side. Have you ever taken the ferry over to Mystic, Connecticut? Edible strange history. Ghost soup. In the Chinese province of Zhejiang in 2003, ancient skeletons were discovered in a cave during the construction of a resort. What else is new, right? The discovery revived an ancient lost custom that locals had followed for thousands of years. Ghost soup. According to tradition, the bones of long-dead female corpses were boiled down to a stock to make a soup, which was believed to cure a wide range of ailments. Oh, you're in Bridgeport, Connecticut? I didn't know that. I thought you guys were I thought you were in Long Island, you bastard. You know what? I'm not going to say anything more about this comment, but I appreciate it because I do this stuff all the time, and I realize, and sometimes in my head, I'm like, some of the things that I'm doing are really are interesting, and no one's seeing it, and it's very, it kind of like gets me a little bit because I don't feel like I'm wasting my time because, I'm just doing it for fun, really. Obviously I'm not monetized. I can't make, like, I wish I could make money. I'm broke. Like, I couldn't even afford Gino's x-ray. We don't know what's wrong with his stomach. Can't afford his x-ray, but I don't make money on here or anything, which is why I don't care about what I say for the most part. But that's also why many people are such bitches about what they say because they're monetized. I'm not allowed to be monetized anyway. So, I could be like someone like, and I don't want to put anyone down, but Chris has a friend who he talks to, Jake Hudson, right? I guess he's got some problems. But the guy, he's not a personality. He's not bringing any sort of material or anything anywhere into these streams that he goes on. And he's actually always just laying in his bed and just putting his Venmo thing up, and people just send him money. And I'm like, wow, can I cut my legs off and lay in my bed and put my Venmo up? Because I need money. Like, he's probably taken care of by the state. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit. And I'm fucking like reading books, looking up shit, and no one's watching. And they're bringing this dude on fucking all these things where he's getting paid, and you know, people are sending him fucking $50 every 2 minutes. I can't fucking believe it. I'm like, why would people? Why? I don't even get it. I gotta stop bitching though. I gotta stop bitching. It's not the person I mentioned that is the problem. Just so you know, I was using an example. My sister's all born in New York City in St. James, Brooklyn. My mother... Oh, yeah, your mother. I remember you told me about your mother. The first time we ever spoke when I was on Chris's thing. And that's why I thought you were from Long Island. Because when you said that, and then a bunch of other stuff we've communicated made me think that you lived out east Long Island in Suffolk County somewhere. But you're close enough if you're by the ferry. I mean, it's the same thing. That's why you said meet in Port Jefferson. Gotcha now. Makes perfect sense and sounds good. Actually, I would really love to do that. Maybe in September, and when it's not too hot, it'd be a great time for that. Edible Strange History number 2. Gerber Singles. This was Gerber Baby Food's attempt to sell food to adults. Launched in the 1970s, the line of gourmet entrees like sweet and sour pork and beef burgundy had 2 major problems. The food came in baby food style jars, and the name Singles was a turnoff to customers who were lonely to begin with, and it flopped. Oh yeah, you have the Islanders AHL team, and do you go to games in Bridgeport? Oh, I got a text from my mom. Rory, the dog that Gino made friends with today, is a female. So he's cheating on Coco, my neighbor, with Rory. Yeah, Stacy's an Islanders fan. Me and Stacy are going to the Islanders Devils preseason game on October 6th over here. I'll be, I have my Devils channel. I don't know if you follow my Devils channel, the Devils Joint, but once the season starts, I do a lot of stuff on that channel, a lot of videos. I'm going to be making a video from the preseason game. I'll be at the home opener for the Devils, putting videos up. Actually, my most popular video that has that, I think like 20, 30,000 views, something like that, which isn't a lot for someone like me, but, well, is a lot for someone like me. On my Devils channel is just from a random Devils game, just from the suite I was in, filming from the suite. People are like, this should be in the Library of Congress. Like, this video, it's a very special video. Hey, I like the Bridgeport Islanders too. Did you know that Bo Horvat's being sued? Bo Horvat of the Islanders being sued over he's building a house over here in Plandome Manor, which is, I would say, it's northwest of me, about 6 miles northwest of me, and he's doing something where he's digging the land up, and there's the county, Nassau County, is suing him. And Bo Horvat, I know this isn't a sports thing. The Devils are my team. Everyone knows I'm a Devils fan. Let's just make sure everyone knows that they were Stanley Cup champions in 2003, especially. He was supposed to be picked by the Devils number 9 in 2015, in the 2015 draft, but the idiot Lou Lamoriello, who's the Islanders GM now, traded him to Vancouver for a goalie who sucks, who also became an Islander, Corey Schneider. You might know him from the Bridgeport Islanders, or Sound Tigers, whatever they were called. And so now Bo Horvat is on the Islanders. Bo Horvat originally he became the captain of the Canucks and was supposed to be on the Devils. But then again, if the Devils would have taken that pick, they might have gotten better and not have the team they have now, which is one of the top 3 teams in the league. Thank you very much. Very proud to say that my Devils are one of the best teams in the league, and no one can do anything about it, especially Rangers fans. Anyway, botched history. We're the country that built the Intercontinental Railroad. You know who said that? Listen, Intercontinental Railroad. We're the country that built the Intercontinental Railroad. President Barack Obama, or his real name is Barry Soetoro, talking about the Transcontinental Railroad. Fucking idiot. He's a fucking Manchurian candidate. The dude managed to pop up out of nowhere in Chicago, become a congressman and the president all in 3 years. Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird that nobody knows anything about him? Isn't it weird that his girlfriend from Chicago claimed how he was an anti-white communist and dumped her because he found out that some of her family were white? Did you know that? That was his girlfriend before he met Mike. Yep. Kyle, you have a Kyle Kuklinski jersey? Section 203, is that what that is? I don't know if you got the Kyle Kuklinski joke, but 5 freaky facts about inventors. Leonardo da Vinci invented an alarm clock that woke him up by rubbing his feet. Countess du Barry, mistress of King Louis XV, invented the fishbowl. In 1935, inventor Israel Pilot coined the name Wonder Bra. I wonder if he got Wonder Bread in the meantime. According to the Bible, Noah invented wine and was the first meat eater. He also had a son named Ham. Noah didn't freeze. That's weird to me. In the 1860s, Thomas Edison developed a device to electrocute cockroaches. Holy mother shit. Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman. That is sweet. What is 203 murders? Is that what it is? Is that what the 203 is? He was fucking sticking in. He was the syringe master. He just walked by. Boop. Oh, bye-bye, heart attack. But he also put people into, into barrels too. Got him caught. I'm a big Iceman fan. I mean, you gotta like the guy's attitude. He's funny. Oh, 203 is the area code. Yeah. Why am waking you up, rubbing your feet, not fly? I'm down. Yeah, I know. Like I said, there were these freaky fact things where some of them are pretty cool. Like, they're not freaky to me. Look, I just found another one. 5 freaky facts about sports. Which basketball star fort? It's getting late for me, I guess. Which basketball star fought Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan the Destroyer? Anyone? I didn't know the answer to this, but it's in front of my face. Fed people to rats too, yeah. All right, so the question is, which basketball star fought Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Conan the Destroyer? Which basketball player? I'll go on to the next one. During World War II, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles combined as the Steagles. I didn't know that. And back to the other one, Wilt Chamberlain was in Conan the Destroyer. I never saw that movie. In 1540, King Henry VIII banned soccer because of the riots that erupted after matches. I'm surprised they don't do that now. They ban everything else. Wakeboarding was originally called skirfing, S-K, and then erfing. The term sports fan was first used to insult baseball fanatics in the late 1800s. So the word fan that refers to you being a fan of a team or whatever actually came from an insult. That's pretty cool. I see. That's why I like these books. I have a lot of books like this. Don't worry. I have plenty of books with stuff like this. I could go on for years reading books. On my Media Odyssey channel, I had a whole, I don't know, Stacy might remember, I had a whole folder of videos. I would do like 3 a day, and I would like read like 1 or 2 stories out of like books like this one, and I have other ones. I have Long Island Hauntings, I'm a book guy. I like books, so I would rather, instead of read something off the internet, actually read a book. And if you know who Mark Dice is my favorite conservative YouTuber. I was reading one of his books on Media Odyssey when it had 20 subscribers. So I was reading an excerpt from his book, and he actually found it, and he commented, which I was really happy about. You know, I mean, it's not a big deal. He's a YouTuber, but he's influential to me and my ideology and my thought process. So I really respect him. And he commented under my thing, "Thank God people are still reading books." Like, he wrote that, and he said, "Thank you for reading my books," or whatever. And that was like one of the greatest things ever. And I'm so mad that I lost that channel just because of when Mark Dice commented on my video. Just because I love Mark Dice so much. The guy's a genius. Anyway. Notable bulbs, B-U-L-B-S, bulbs of history. The awesome onion. Onions have been cultivated for more than 5,000 years. The ancient Egyptians considered them sacred. Why? Because they made them cry? Oh, you live? Yeah, of course, Lindley Street. What's the number of the house? The cops wouldn't go in that house. I know that's... Yeah, of course I know that story. Let me finish reading this real quick. Blah, blah, blah. The ancient Egyptians considered onions to be sacred and believed that the round shape and the concentric rings of the onion symbolized eternity. Why am I not saying words right? Eternity. The slave laborers who built the Great Pyramid of Cheops at Giza 5,000 years ago, which I don't believe is the fact. I don't think they know who built any pyramid, no matter if it was 100 years ago or 5,000. I don't believe that they were using slave labor. Anyway, 5,000 years ago were fed mainly chickpeas, onions, and garlic. What does that have to do with anything? I have no idea. Ancient Greek... What does this say? Ancient Greek athletes ate... Ancient Greek athletes ate onions to boost their energy. Roman gladiators were rubbed down with onion juice. Onion fucking juice. In the belief that it would make their... Why am I losing the page? Make their muscles firm. By the Middle Ages, onions were common throughout Europe and were eaten by rich and poor alike, one of the few foods that were consumed by the rich and the poor. So, onions, which is like, you know, which are like in everything, and I don't know if you guys know this random fact, I have a minor but bad allergy to onions, to raw onions. The sugars that are in a raw onion, like, it's, you know, there's sugars in fruits and onions and vegetables. The sugars that are in an onion, I'm allergic to. So I can never get onions. Yeah, so that's a random fact, because whenever I go to the hospital and they ask me, like, you know, what are you allergic to? I say penicillin and onions. And that's, for the most part, no, not shallots, just onions, raw onions. And if you take onions and you cook them, I can eat them, but I don't, just to be safe. Like, because when you cook an onion, it cooks those sugars out, you know. But I have, because I have Crohn's disease, I have like this weird thing where they call it allergy, but it's not. Fruits and vegetables in general, onions, I get breakouts, and I don't get anaphylaxis, but I do have, sometimes will have trouble breathing a little bit, like my throat will swell up a little. But I have this thing where all fruits and vegetables affect me in a way where they make me lethargic and tired, due to my autoimmune disease, is what I was told when I did this whole allergy test, you know, where they did blood, they put all these things in my back and all this shit. I have it's like 8 pages of fruits and vegetables that affect me in a negative way, and onions are the only ones that actually like give me anaphylaxis in a way. But all fruits and vegetables are bad for me, essentially. You know, I have to obviously ignore that. You know, well, that's cooked onions. A bloomin' onion is cooked, So yeah, I'll eat a couple of those, you know. No, I'm not allergic to dust. I don't have allergies to anything, any pollen, no outdoor allergies, nothing like that. The only allergies I have are onions and penicillin, actually. And speaking of that, this has nothing to do with it. Greco-Roman myth conceptions. The myth that vomitoriums were places that Romans went to vomit. No. Such specialized rooms existed. The Latin verb vomitum means to spew forth, which is what ancient Romans did when they entered the Colosseum and other arenas through large arched passageways. It was the passageways that were called vomitoria. So, vomiting is to spew forth, so you were spewing bodies forth into the Colosseum, so they called it vomitorium. That's kind of cool. Do I hear someone outside my door? Anyway, Greco-Roman architecture. Greco-Roman architecture and statues were white. That's myth. Now, if you see a lot of statues, Greco-Roman, David, what is the little PP one? Is that a Greco-Roman one? And that's they kind of white, isn't it? I don't know. They may look white now. This is racist. Remember, racism among people that are not white is very, very common these days. Prejudice against white people or hostility toward, hatred of, stemming from envy or bigotry due to their black privilege, of course. Anyway, they may look white now, but ancient traces of pigment have been detected on many of these structures, leading archaeologists to believe that buildings like the Parthenon were very colorfully and elaborately painted. They just don't want shit to be white. They don't care what the facts are. Right, Wayne Brady? With your white head, you got a white fucking skull cap, motherfucker. God, I get a little out of hand sometimes. No, big dicks were back in Italy and all that stuff. They thought of if they made a statue with a big penis, that was barbarism. So like the African men that would come into Italy and rape and pillage, they claim that did never happen. Of course, it happened in Sicily. Anyway, and they had their big African dicks. They were used to rape women. So big dicks were not a good thing. That's why all the statues have small dicks, because they don't want having a big dick would say that you were a bad person, that you were a barbarian. And if you don't believe what I'm saying right now, believe me that I would not tell you a lie, because you could Google it very easily and say, hey, wait a second, you just made that up. Look, if you want to look it up, go ahead, but I'm sure you can believe me. I'm sure you can believe my word that when I tell you a story like that, I didn't just make it up. I hope so, at least. All right, outdated concepts. Humorism. Never read this page. Don't know what this is. Humorism dates back to 400 BC and persisted well into the 1800s, when advances in medical research led to a more accurate understanding of human physical and mental health. This concept went like this. A person's health and personality are determined by the proportions of four basic substances: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Which one do you like better? When the four humors were... So those are the humors. Blood, phlegm, yellow, and black bile. When the four humors were in balance, the person was healthy. When they were out of balance, the person was sick. Diet and physical activity of various kinds affected the balance and could make it better or worse. Treatments such as bloodletting, which is cutting and letting the blood out, inducing vomiting, vomitorium, and purging the bowels, shitting, were administered to sick people to restore proper balance of the humors. And on the bottom it says, the abdomen, the chest, and brain will forever be shut from the intrusion of the wise and humane surgeon, Sir John Eric Erickson, British surgeon, appointed surgeon extraordinary to Queen Victoria, 1873. Let me read that again. The abdomen, the chest, and the brain will forever be shut from the intrusion of the wise and humane surgeon. Can anyone make sense of that one? I'd only be afraid of this because I don't want people having my, my DNA. But since the police already have my DNA, I don't think I have to worry about that. I'm in CODIS, so if I commit a murder, they're gonna catch me. Actually, they took my DNA in September of 2021. I was tricked into going to the office, and then they're like, "Oh, we need a DNA sample, a mouth swab, please." Yeah, thanks. 5 freaky facts about China. Tunisia, yes, where my family is from. My father was born. My grandparents were slaves. Do you remember that, I assume? Thank you. Wait. Do you know that story, or did you just say that? Did you know that my dad was born in Tunisia and my grandparents were Tunisian slaves from when they were children? They met in Tunisia, had a baby, which was my father, who then escaped Tunisia to New York. You didn't know that story? Wow, that's ironic. Yeah, my dad in 1956 was born in Tunisia. My grandparents were kidnapped from France and Italy. My grandmother from France, my grandfather from Italy, when they were children. They were brought to Tunisia. They were slaves into their young adult years. 1956, my father was born. So when my grandmother's mother was pregnant as a slave, of course she was still working, but they gave her like a light duty or whatever. And my father being the father of the baby, my grandfather was given painting, and he became a professional. He was a boxer too, but he became a professional painter also when he came here. And when they had the baby, when my dad was born, they had to go to the hospital. And then when they were in the hospital, somehow, I don't know this story details, so I'm not going to make anything up here. So I'm not going to tell you anything that I don't know. But from the hospital, they found a way to get the American embassy to escape because they just had my father. My mother's calling me, so it might be an emergency. Let me see what's up. Hello? Sorry, guys. Yeah, so my dad was born in Tunisia. They got to the hospital. It took them like 2 years. So my dad was like 2 when they came to New York. But yeah, my grandparents. So this is the point. I brought this up another time when there were definitely people in my chat, because the point is when I go a couple of minutes down the road is Hempstead in Long Island, which is all black people. I don't care, but this is where all the black people are in my area, right? If I go over there, half of them are gonna, claim slavery this or slavery that, and my aunt, they want reparations and they want this and that. Fuck you. My grandparents, rest in peace to my grandmother who just passed away in November, and rest in peace to my grandfather who passed away 2 years ago. They were fucking slaves in the 1950s in Africa, and there's more slaves in Africa today, right now, August 23rd, 2023, than there ever was in the history of American slavery, which was the last place that slavery was even started. Slavery was all over the world. The United States was the last place slavery was started, and it was definitely the shortest slavery there ever was. The shortest time where slavery was started and ended was in America. So when they bitch about slavery and reparations, fuck you. Your African people are the ones who sell people to other people. They've been doing it for centuries, and they did it with my grandparents. So fuck you. Anyway, back to strange history. This one's called Magnum PU. Might have something to do with farts. I had to do that. Sorry, guys. All right. Mary the Jewess. Let's read that. Nope. Don't want to read that. Looks stupid. Who was Merlin? Now, we all know the wizard sleeve, right? We know what a wizard sleeve is. It refers to a vagina. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the actual wizard named Merlin. You actually have, yes, this is what I'm talking about, bro. I've actually been affected directly by slavery. And people got the gall to come to me because you know me, I'm a political guy, and I've been out there, not recently, but a couple of years back. I was out there when people were on the streets, and I was out there confronting them. I did it for Fleckus Talks. I don't know if you know Fleckus Talks. I did it, on Man on the Street thing for him. I talked to a lot of people, and a lot of them were talking about slavery. They have nothing to do with slavery. Neither do any of the people that they, ever knew in their life. No one they've ever met was a slave. My grandparents just died in the last 2 years. They were real slaves. And it was, I mean, when I bring that up, it shuts people up pretty quick. Sometimes they don't believe it. Sometimes they're like, yeah, right. But the fact is that Africa is like the number one place for slaves because they sell their own people. So when they're so worried about slavery, why aren't they going to Africa and trying to stop it? Instead of saying, "Hey, I want a mule, and a couple of acres, and a dead mule." I don't know. Why would you even want a mule? They don't even take care of a fucking dog. They want a mule. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, I'm out of breath from getting mad just now. I just got a little upset there. Whew. Made my wrist itchy. Your wrist ever get itchy when you get upset, when you kind of get a little like upset with an emotional twist? Me either, but it happened just now. Hermitage, Sweet Hermitage. Okay, I don't know. Movies you'll never see. Okay, that's cool. The Fairy Log and Radio Plays, 1908. The first ever adaptation of L. Frank Baum's Oz books, The Wizard of Oz. It starred Baum interacting with drawings of his characters. The single print was in Baum's possession, but it disintegrated and was thrown out by his heirs. Idiots. The Werewolf, 1913. The first werewolf film was lost in a 1924 fire. Cleopatra, 1917. It starred silent film icon Theda Bara in the title role and had a huge, at the time, budget of $500,000. But all 45 seconds, it was only 45 seconds long, too. Wow. No, I lied. All but 45 seconds were destroyed in a Fox Studios vault fire. And speaking of Fox and fire, Fox News is currently airing a dumpster fire right now full of people who are going to lose the Republican primaries. Isn't that funny? Anyway, The Gulf Between, 1917, the first full-length color film made in the U.S. Only a few frames are left because the rest of them, guess what? Got destroyed in a fire. Yeah, Matt, it's funny because, yeah, it is irritation. You're right. It's funny because when I bring it up, it's hard to explain to people who, let's be real here. The people, when you're arguing with someone of such a ideology, I guess you could say, you know how they are. They're yap 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 yap. This is you and this is them. They do this and then you go like that and they go yap 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 yap. They never want you to get out of they won't let you get a sentence out. So in order to give the history that I just explained to you to a rabid Wolverine on the street that wants to just go rob the Coach store in the name of George Floyd is very hard. It's very hard to say, hey, listen, I have my family members who at that time were still alive, by the way, were actual slaves in Africa. How do you feel about that? You know what answers I would get to that question, right? Oh, you're probably from some conservative news organization, and then they walk away. That's exactly what I got almost every time. They obviously not in those exact words, but it was, oh, you're probably some conservative blah, 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 blah. Because, I was unassuming. I wasn't wearing a Trump shirt or stuff like that. I was just unassuming, talking to people. And when I would bring that story up, they would be, of course, they have their little elves that go around and follow you once they find out. And then once you go, let's say there's prime bottle someone, I go to talk to them, my weed thing is going to be the elf. That you could be like, hey, you want some reparations for slavery? And here comes the elf. Don't talk to this person. They're from conservative news media. They're gonna cut this and to make you look stupid. No one needs to cut what they're saying ever because they make themselves look stupid when you ask them regular questions. That's the best part. We don't need to edit them. You fucking idiots! We don't need to edit because your answers are stupid enough. Sorry I'm yelling. Sorry. I've been doing this now for 2 hours and 40 minutes straight. Holy shit. And the hour or whatever before this. But I am glad that at least 3 of you hung out here all this time. This is what I've been, I don't even know how to say what I want to say right now. I love on Fridays when me and Chris do a show, but Chris, it's Chris's channel. I can't say what I want to say on that channel because he makes a lot of comments about how I get strikes and lose my channels. Obviously, on his channel, I'm not going to get him a strike. I'm not going to say anything, so I keep myself tame. So that's why I really appreciate when people come watch my channel because you're going to hear what I really want to say. Because I can't say it on Friday nights when we do Citizen Free Press. I didn't mean to do this I didn't mean free. That wouldn't have made sense. I don't know why I did that, but when we were doing Citizen Free Press, I can't really say what I really want to say in some cases because Chris is very scared of the wrong word being said. You understand? So you got to understand. I understand that from his side, of course. Yeah, my lineage is very rare, and I don't really talk about it much, but that story is a little, that story got, when I made a video. I used to not do live streams at all. I used to just make videos. Before even Media Odyssey, I had a much bigger channel that got suspended in 2020. And I used to make videos and tell stories and stuff. And when I spoke about that, got taken down. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, of course we love Chris. Just to be sure, just to make it clear, no one said that they didn't love Chris. Just to make it clear, because he said that. You're welcome, Dollface. It's I would say it's more of my father's story, but it is, yeah, that's the point I was making, Matt, is that I respect the fact that he doesn't want to lose his channel, so I can't say what I really want to say, but we still do our show, and we, try and do it the best we can, with the revisions that I have to make. You understand what I'm saying? So, of course I respect Chris. Anyway, I could hear Gino barking like a maniac. He hasn't been walked today once. I usually walk him 5 times a day, 4 times. And obviously from 8:30 till 5 o'clock or whatever time it was, he was busy with other dogs, but he hasn't taken a walk down the street. I've definitely got to take him for a walk. Oh. Hold on 1 second. Oh, no. Okay. All right. These are all songs that I put together for background music for this channel. So that song that's been playing for 2 hours and 45 minutes. This one. find this one. There's just the same one. Yeah, this is a different version of the same song. A little faster version. I am on the 3s and 4s as well. Imagine I named my... Imagine he was named after Gino Visconti. Yeah, he's got the energy of Gino Visconti. He's definitely got the energy of Gino Visconti. That's a fact. Yeah. So, all right. I guess 3 hours is long enough, right? I mean, I'm taking advantage of the fact that the people that I like, that I enjoy talking to on the internet, are here in my chat, taking advantage of that. But I also have stolen 4 hours of your time, which I feel bad for. But it's been fun. I did ask this question earlier. I don't know who's here now, because I know Dollface still here. Maybe Matt, maybe Stacy. This says I only have 2 people. Does anyone know where I got the name Pierre Delecto? Do you know what that name is? No one answered me earlier, or I might have missed it. And Stacy, if you know, don't say it. And if you don't know, then say you don't know. But Gino Visconti's much hairier than my Gino. That's for sure. Pierre Delecto. Pierre Delecto was Mitt Romney's sock Twitter account name. Almost like Carlos Danger was Anthony Weiner's. Yeah, that's funny, actually. I didn't think of that. Pierre Delecto was the fake name that Mitt Romney was caught typing under his own tweets. He accidentally tweeted under Pierre Delecto, and when he was asked, where'd you get that name from, he said it was the first thing that came to mind. So I'm Pierre Delecto Jr. That's so if you want to find this channel, you just put at Pierre Delecto Jr. JR, and that's why I put Pierre Delecto II as my name there. So I keep having to change names, and I don't want to keep using the duck thing because it seems to be bad luck. Every time I use the word duck, and the word duck, it was important. I still say as a joke in some of the old streams from this channel that has no followers, probably the videos have like 2 views, but it doesn't matter. Some of them I made a joke in the bottom scrolling, it would say a duck taco production. I just think it's funny. It's just those are my my inside jokes with myself. You mean to ask me what Pierre Delecto means? I've been meaning to ask myself why I haven't rolled a joint this whole time, even earlier. I have weed in here, and I have rolling papers. And I'm smoking my vape. What do you mean by this, Matt? Yes, I am. I'm not sure what you mean by yes, that is the name, but what do you mean by no? Like Pierre Delecto II? No? Pierre Delecto II? Pierre Delecto II? No? That's what you're saying. I don't understand the question. Because yes. Or Junior. Oh, no, when you're doing the tag, if you want to find me by my tag, it's that at Pierre Delecto JR. But my name, when you see it on the channel, says Pierre Delecto II. That's all. Sorry about that. You fucking Connecticut bastards! I thought you were New Yorkers! It's okay. It's much better that you're not New Yorkers. You have more respect now for you and Baby Doll. No, but actually, Long Island is a red place where it's a red island, so we're not bad here. It's the city that sucks. So, you know. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna take Gino for a walk, maybe eat dinner. Do something that humans do. Thank you so much for being here. And why Blood Forever? That's the thing. I moved to Florida. I moved to South Carolina. I moved to California in my time. But it's always New York Blood Forever. Right now, obviously, very disappointed in my own state. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm from New York, but that's why I specifically. Actually, let me show you. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Let me show you something before I go, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, I don't like to say, for the most part, I don't like to say that I'm from New York. I like to say I'm from Long Island. And I know it's hard to say the word, and everyone makes fun of the way people say it because Long Island, the way the words mesh together no matter who says it. It's a joke, though, that people say Long Island or Lawn Guyland, whatever. My Devil's channel is long. This is my logo that I made. This is LID. It's the Devil's colors. Well, the Devil's colors are black, red, and white, and they used to have green. So I added the green in the middle. It's a mesh like a hockey jersey mesh. It has Long Island, and then in the font of the New Jersey Devils, I wrote LID for Long Island Devils. So that's my logo for my hockey channel, where I have my Devils channel called Devil's Joint, is for out-of-market hockey fans that are Devils fans. So whenever the games are on during the season, when the games are on, I'm going to have a live stream just like this on that channel for fans, because I have people, I don't have a lot, I have a couple hundred or whatever followers. They're from Sweden, Switzerland, Australia. They're all out of market people that can't go to games in New Jersey. So my channel is open every time the Devils play. It's going to be open with a chat, so people from all over the world can watch the game at home and then chat with fans from wherever they are during, like, in real time during the game. So it's actually really cool, and that's why I use this logo instead of using a Devils logo. I made sure I'm a Long Island Devils fan. I'm not from New Jersey. I'm an out-of-market fan, just like the rest of the fans that are subscribed to my channel. So, yeah, I agree with you, Matthew. That's the thing. We can't give up on it, but we got to be real about it. And one of the worst possible things that's happening right now is one of the most minor, and it's the mayor. This stupid schmuck mayor walks around with a fucking hat that says NYC mayor on it. I mean, you gotta wear a hat that says New York City mayor everywhere you go? Like, how? What are you? Yes, you're a narcissist. You got a big head, and it's all about you. Yes, it is, Mr. Adams. Not mayor, Mr. We should screen Amongst Friends together. Yes. I love that movie. Oh, yeah, of course. I don't think I'm allowed to. You know what? I bet on Rumble, I could play that movie and we could watch it, like, in little boxes. Like for instance, like if the movie was that, like me and like you or someone else, like 3-4 of us could be down on the bottom here, and I could play that movie on Rumble. On here, I'll get kicked off easily for just playing anything of the sort. But I would do that. There's also LIE. You ever see the movie LIE? Great movie. It's about two young gay boys. But at the time of the movie, that when it came out, it wasn't like some LGBTQ propaganda. It was just a movie about, how two high school boys. Well, I don't want to get into, because I'll ruin it. When I start talking about movies, I start ruining them. So for people who haven't seen them. But yeah, LIE is one of my favorite movies of all time, actually. It's from 2001. I'm pulling it up right now just to. to get a little memory of it. Yeah, man, you know LIE? Yeah, hell yeah, bro. LIE is fucking awesome, dude. I wonder what's up with the actors from LIE. Gino Carr. Okay. Obviously, when I'm being quiet, that means when I'm being quiet, that means I'm trying to get, because like I said, I don't have a mouse. Whenever I'm that quiet, it's me trying to get my fucking the arrow onto the little fucking line so I can move something. That's me trying to like line it up. It's so pathetic. Someone please just get me a mouse. I need a fucking mouse. Send it to my house. I need a mouse in the house. Here is LIE. This is all I was doing. This is the movie LIE. I have the DVD somewhere. Actually, not somewhere. It's in a box here. But yeah, this is the movie LIE. On the Long Island Expressway, there are lanes going east, lanes going west, and lanes going straight to hell. A shocking and impressive accomplishment from the New York Times. Someone from the New York Times. At that point, I would say the New York Times wasn't as... I guess maybe I could trust a word, maybe one or two words from them at that time. Now I wouldn't believe them for a second. If this movie came out today, I'd say I'm not watching it because New York Times says it's good. No, I wouldn't do that. You gotta always look for yourself. Always look for yourself, because even in places like liberal New York Times or whatever, there's always a couple of people in there that are plants. They're working for James O'Keefe. They're working for Project Veritas. They're plants in there, and they're thinking right, and they're trying to purge the garbage from the loser newspapers and the loser news organizations. Never see, Stacey, you never heard of this. I have the DVD in that big box in this room that's full of DVDs. It's in there somewhere. I have it. It's a great movie. I don't want to ruin it. But I do believe that in the movie, a boy says the word clit. They're talking about clitoris, and he calls it a clint. Right, Matt? Isn't that that's from LIE, right? He calls it a clint. So like, I touched that girl's clint or something, and they're in the little pizza place. And since you're all from the local area, you know what a little pizza place looks like. Yeah, LIE, man. I'm gonna watch that movie tonight if I can find it. Stacey, you know what? Is LIE on Prime? Amazon Prime? Why am I asking you when it's right in front of me? I could find out right now. Just open it and look. I'm gonna say it's not. I'm really gonna think it's not. I'm assuming it's not. LIE movie, rent or buy. Yeah. Oh, I still got the picture up. Duh. Sorry, guys. But this is Amazon Prime, LIE. It's only rent or buy, though. You could rent it for $3.59 for 30 days. Like, it doesn't make... These things don't make sense. Buy movie for $7.69. Why is it on here if we can't watch it? That's why I hate these things. Because you type in a movie you want to see, and then it comes up. But you can't fucking watch it. God, again, I'm trying to get up to Matt's comment here so I can take it off the screen, but it takes me an hour to fucking get on the line to get to the fucking comments. Now it's back. Fuck. Should I put my Venmo up? You guys want to help me get a mouse? I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. My girl will not let me watch Amongst Friends anymore. I wore it out. Oh well, you can watch it with me, right? If we do it online. You could do it. Yeah, Clint, you know what I'm talking If you watched it on if we do a Rumble stream and we watch the movie, you're not allowed to watch it then? PayPal. You think I have PayPal? You think a person like me who's been deplatformed from everywhere is allowed on PayPal? Do you think? I didn't mean to be condescending, Matt, but seriously. You know I've been just like literally taken out of almost everything in the world, bro. Right? Like I'm not allowed to use eBay, PayPal, GoFundMe. Yeah, I have Cash App and Venmo. Yeah, I have those things. That's actually what I use to make payments is Cash App, my Cash App card. But I don't have money in it, but it's like my debit card basically. That's what I use. Yeah, so you can watch it. I know I was just kidding about not being able to watch it, really, but I would, you know, actually, I want to see if that movie's on Prime. That's a fucking, you know what? That's a good question. I only looked for LIE. Oh wait, who signed? Blue Jackets signed too. Sorry, I can't get interrupted by hockey now. Oh, my Cash App is... I put it right there. I think that's it. Let me make sure. Yep, JJ Devils is my Cash App. Yep. Let me see if this movie now. It's not going to be on Amazon Prime because I was about to look. You don't think it's going to be there? It's probably just like LIE. Maybe it'll be rent or buy. Let me see. Amongst it's the first once I get to the word among, it's the first movie that comes up. Oh shit. Hey, Amongst Friends is I'm able to watch it here. It's on Amazon Prime. Right here. It's watchable. Not pay or rent. It's watchable right here, brother. That's fucking awesome. It's right here on Amazon Prime. Just open to watch. Literally. That's fucking great. Let's watch it like this. Ooh, look, Amongst Friends.
When I was 12, I screwed this 20-year-old. I forget her name. Yeah. She told me it was great, but it was too short. It didn't last long enough. She was right. It didn't last. But nothing ever does. At least not long enough to make any sense of it.
What a great entrance to the movie or intro to the movie. I'm watching that tonight for sure. I haven't seen that in a while. Thanks for reminding me, and thank God I looked. That's fucking. I almost threw my glasses just now. I'm so happy that that didn't say rent or buy, and it just said play movie. I'm so happy right now. And if you want, Matt, we can. If you emailed me, I hope you did. Maybe we could do it. I'm gonna check Rumble. I'm gonna see what their rules are. And if we can watch that, and as long, because I've seen other people do it, as long as I stop it and we add commentary every 10-15 minutes for a minute, you're allowed to do it. So if you want to do it, we could do it on Rumble. I would love to do that with you. That would be mad fun. Especially with a movie like this, like this or LIE. Definitely, these are movies that that I would love to watch and have other people get to see because they're not well-known movies, but they're well made, well written. you know, you gotta go back in time to find music. It goes with music too, music and movies, to find real like the people who wrote Amongst Friends and LAE were writers. They were writing good shit. They wrote a great script, a great storyline, all that stuff that has to do with it. Oh, thank you, baby doll. If you want to leave a message, I'll read like a super chat or something. I'll do that. I won't say your real name. Thank you, baby doll. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you. Yeah, local writers, exactly. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm not in the movie. I didn't write the movie, but it's fun having people that know what I'm talking about, because I bet I could be on a stream with 1,000 people, and if like you guys weren't here, no one would know what I'm talking about regarding either of these movies, you know. But the highlight of my night, other than having 4 hours chilling doing this with you, which has been fun every minute. That's why I keep saying I'm gonna go, and I'm still here. But the other highlight is the fact that I can watch Amongst Friends right now if I want to, and I didn't think it was that available. Neither did you, Matt. Like you were saying, like you're gonna have to pirate it, and then it just pops. Like that's how random shit is, man. Because I always bitch, like every movie I want to watch, when I type it in, it's always you got to rent or buy it, or it's not even there. The movie, The Man Who Knew Too Little with Bill Murray, one of the funniest movies of all time, is not on any streaming platform, and it's one of the funniest movies ever. And it's a lesser known Bill Murray movie where he goes to visit his brother. He's a dunce. He goes to visit his rich brother, and his brother sets him up on this fake thing in like London or wherever they are. He goes on this fake thing where they build this whole like storyline around you, and you pretend you're a spy. It's supposed to be a game, but he steps into the wrong phone booth and gets a real call from like real like mobster people, and he thinks he's in a game. And so he's playing like, and he's funny and like joking around, like, you know, that's not a real gun, you know, like that kind of stuff. But really, he's in a real situation. And his stupidity doesn't let him know that what's happening around him is really happening. So he saves the day with his stupidity. It's so good, so well written. I don't know if any of you have seen that movie, but The Man Who Knew Too Little is probably my favorite movie of all time. I'm gonna say that, yeah. And the funny thing is, there was that's from 1997, and in 1956 there was a movie called The Man Who Knew Too Much, and that's where The Man Who Knew Too Little obviously came in. And as you know, when I'm quiet, you know what I'm doing. Do 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 do. I cannot get it. God damn these fucking lines. God damn your righteous hand. Marilyn Manson, anyone? Okay. There you go. That's The Man Who Knew Too Little. That movie right there. One of the best movies of all time, in my opinion, and my favorite movie ever. Especially when it comes to comedy. I mean, the jokes. You know what? Leslie Nielsen movies are in the same veil as this movie. I love Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, this movie right here that's on my screen is my favorite comedy movie of all time. So I suggest now this, and the reason why I brought this movie up, Matt, is because I have the DVD for this, but when I open I don't have a DVD player anyway that works, but when I opened the DVD was gone. So I was like, okay, Netflix has to have it, right? So I find someone who's got a Netflix account because I don't want Netflix, and I go in there. Nope, not even an option. Amazon Prime. You could rent or buy or something. It's not there. It's not a movie that you could watch on any streaming. Yes, Bill Murray's sarcasm is number one. And what's great about this movie is that he can't use that in this movie. So it's a different kind of, how do I explain it? It's a different kind of acting for him because he's acting like he's stupid rather than, I can't explain it. I can't explain it. Yeah, please watch The Man Who Knew Too Little, bro. You will laugh your ass off. It's so funny. And it's almost like not like Groundhog Day in humor, but it's almost like Groundhog Day in the fact that he doesn't know what's going on around him, and he's trying to he can't fully figure it out, as the movie goes along. So hilarity ensues, basically. That's basically what people would say. This happens and then hilarity ensues. That's I'm talking on the screen like I'm on the screen. I keep forgetting that I'm doing that. But, Wayne Brady might have to slow match. And we know who will win this fight. All right, well, Matt, go start getting ready. LIE, Man Who Knew Too Little, report card, Long Island Devils, Wayne Brady, Trump beats him, anonymous source with JJ, Bagman, anti-whiteism, black privilege, black fragility, and I cannot ever end. I hope anyone knows. If anyone knows, I cannot end without doing this. So let's start with this one. No! I did not touch that button. See, that is the problem here. Without the mouse, I'm clicking the wrong shit. Okay, what do I have up? Black fragility? Okay. Now, translate this and... Did you hear that explosion? My windows are closed. Did anyone hear that? Might have been an M80, but God knows. All right, if you can translate this, I will spray this disinfectant into my mouth right now if you could translate this.
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which...
Okay. And here's Kitty Diddler.
I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here. And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
Sick bastard. Sick bastard. You're just... And, of course, brought to you by Democrats. Sex trafficking.
Tiene dueño, CJNG, y se tiene que reportar cada semana. Se va a controlar con un brazalete que se les entregará con nuestra parte. A toda aquella que no haga caso, se la va a cargar la verga. Las tenemos ubicadas. Tírate al piso. Tírate al piso. Tírate al piso la verga.
No vayas a disparar.
Tírate al piso la verga.
Sí. No vayas a disparar, por
Las
favor.
tenemos ubicadas a la verga. Miriam, Aurora, Saúl, Angie Alonso, Alex El Coto, Nia, Norma, Nancy Muñiz, Angel, Maru, Lai, a todas las putas agencias.
This is what Open Borders does.
En internet, Twitter, y las putas de cantinas, bares, etcétera. Si no se acomodan, se las va a cargar la verga. Primer aviso. Cártel Jalisco, nueva generación. No hables. Esto.
Damn it. Shit. Fuck. Ass. Shit. Mother. Cock. Fuck.
Well, I hope that was fun. Something I could end with, just to make sure everyone knows that the leader of the free world cannot speak his own language. He's after kids, and that's what our border is like. That's what they're doing to humans at the border when it's wide open. That is rampant, where they have women being stepped on the floor with a gun to their head. And they even make videos and make TikToks about it. Not in China, but in America. That's where you get those good goddamn TikToks from. Not Montana, though, because Montana, like a normal place, has banned TikTok. Thank God. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I love all of you. Thank you so much to Dollface. You're number one tonight. I appreciate the thingy thing. And yeah, I'm out too. So for real this time. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, hit the email for me, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, everyone. And thank you so much for staying for so long. I really appreciate that.